Freaking baller.
Alright, so we're live. So welcome guys, this is Mr. HHN and welcome back to my second HHN 2018 podcast where we'll be discussing new developments in HHN 2018. And here with me today, I have a very cool panel. I have Justin at HHNManics.
Hey.
I have my good friend Clarence at Yum Nums.
Hey, just explore, boy.
And last but certainly not least, we have the man, the legend, the myth himself, Tristan.
Oh crap, I was trying to figure out how to unmute my mic. What's up, guys?
All right, so we have a lot of things to talk about here today. A lot that's been going on in HHN, which I haven't really talked about in my videos since I haven't been making videos in a while. But the first thing I want to talk about is all that was pretty much revealed at Monster Palooza. Just a short little recap. First thing we found out was that Stranger Things was actually going to be in a soundstage, which is Soundstage 29, which is actually pretty exciting. So does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I mean, Justin, if you want, okay, I'll share my thoughts because it's gonna be cool. I mean, I think it's cool because it's the first time that we've used that soundstage for Horror Nights, so that's gonna be interesting on how the queue is gonna lay out and how we're gonna actually, just the direction or the flow of the guests is gonna be interesting getting to that attraction. I think it's really cool because that's a big soundstage. So that means a couple things. It means that the sets are gonna be massive. It means that it could be long, and it just means that it's really going to be really immersive just because of the length of that soundstage. So that should be pretty cool. Those are kind of my thoughts. I think it's kind of really awesome that it's a new soundstage, and it's going to be big soundstage. So that's it.
So I'll give my thoughts. So I was actually at the panel, and I remember freaking out because of like we haven't had a soundstage maze since AVP in 2015, and while that was a good maze, it's just like Stranger Things is this really great property, and Soundstage 29, like Tristan said, is like really big, and Stranger Things has a lot of big sets with the Upside Down and a lot of interesting sets, so it could be a really big and immersive maze, and there's a lot of effects that they can do with the Upside Down and things that they can do in that soundstage. So I'm pretty excited that we're finally getting a soundstage maze.
Yeah, so on the soundstage itself, at first when he announced Stranger Things, I was a little worried because if you've seen the show, the Upside Down, it's mostly just like black hallways, and we all know what that would have meant with John Murdy. He would love to put some black walls in there, but now that this isn't a soundstage, it kind of gives me a little bit more confidence that he knows what he's doing and he's going to stray away from that. Since again, in a soundstage, we can see a lot of really big sets. And then in a recent tweet, actually, he said that he found a really cool way to do the Upside Down with like this very new effect that we haven't seen at HHN before, which really makes me think that this is one of the mazes he's putting in the most work into. And I'm just overall very excited to see what he ends up doing with this maze, again, considering since it is in the soundstage. So anybody else have anything to say about this before we move on? All right, then I guess not. So, also at Monster Palooza, he announced the first scare zone for HHN 2018, which is Holidays of Hell, which is supposed to be in the Metro Sets area where we had Urban Inferno last year, and it's supposed to be in a similar vein to that, which is kind of a gauntlet that takes you through all the major holidays of the year, starting off with New Year's Day and ending at New Year's Eve, which sounds like a pretty cool concept. And from the concept already showed, there's a lot of really cool characters that he could implement into this thing. So overall, I'm very excited to see this scare zone.
The little turkey guy is going to be the funny one.
Yeah, the turkey guy looks awesome.
Honestly, it's pretty cool. Honestly, I'm really excited to see Krampus back at the event. Krampus on stilts is going to be cool. I'm pretty excited for that. And the little turkey is going to be cool. I think that's probably the most exciting characters for me. The rest, I think they're going to be all cool, but those are the ones that stand out to me.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how cool they can do with the sets and stuff, like how like now that Krampus is back and all these characters, and how much emphasis he was putting onto how sure the character in the Halloween section is from Halloween last year, but it's all bloodied up and stuff. So he's really putting emphasis on how it's not reused and how they're refreshing it, which gives me a lot of confidence. And I loved the Gauntlet last year. So and I think they could do some really cool sets. I think it'd be really cool if they did like at like Knott's. They have like the snow thing that goes off during Mary Farm. So I think that'd be kind of cool to see in like the Christmas section. But overall, I'm very excited for this Scare Zone.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really cool things he can do in the Scare Zone if he plays it out pretty good. Like I know he said that for like the Day of the Dead section or the Cinco de Mayo one of the two, like he had like a whole bunch of like Loteria cards he was gonna put around. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So to me, this sounds a little bit more like it's gonna be a lot more like a maze type of gauntlet, like Urban Inferno was last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really a lot more interesting to me than like just your typical Scare Zone. So
yeah,
again, I'm pretty excited to see what he does.
The gauntlets are always cool because they always kind of feel like a part of the maze. Because like, 2017 or no 2016 was the first year they brought the gauntlet of like the Purge, right?
Yeah,
and that was really cool. It felt like a Purge maze. Then they brought it back for the Blumhouse maze, and it was still cool. It feels like it's a maze. It just feels like an outdoor maze, and I feel like the gauntlets are always really neat just because of that aspect. The props are always a little bit bigger. They have like more room, and there's just cooler effects because of the way it's designed. The gauntlets are really cool. So that's just kind of my opinion. I think the gauntlet is like what you said. It's kind of like a mini maze, I guess, or mini show in a sense. So it's pretty cool.
And I think the fact that it's like a holiday type thing is even better because it's like we're having like Trick or Treat this year, and so that's like its own Halloween maze. All like Halloween type things and Trick or Treat, and now we got the Scare Zone. It's like all this holiday stuff, and it's really cool that we get to see like a little mini like holiday like esque maze, and I think that's really cool. And I think it's like really wise to make it the Gauntlet because it's just such a neat idea.
Yeah, absolutely, and it kind of fits with the theming of that. So, it's James. James joined.
All right, so we have James at HHNUpdated1 joining. So, James, we're talking about how Holidays of Hell got announced to be the first Scare Zone for this year. So, you have anything to say about that?
Well, I think his mic is muted, so let's just give him some time to figure that out. Hold on.
All right, finally made it.
Well, hello, James. Like we were saying, we're talking about Holidays of Hell, which is the first Scare Zone that got announced. So, did you hear anything about that?
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, there was an echo. Sorry. All right. Yeah. I'm actually really, really excited about Holidays in Hell. Going through from New Year's all the way to New Year's again, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the most creative Scare Zones like he's thought about in a while. So, I'm just overall very excited to see it. So, anyways, we're gonna move on to our next topic, which is that construction has started in several mazes. The first one being in the Mummy venue, which actually got announced to be Trick or Treat. Which actually we're gonna go ahead and talk about that first. Trick or Treat being announced to come to the event this year. This is a maze like us fans have been asking for a really long time now. So I'm pretty excited that we're finally gonna be able to see it at the event, as I know most of you guys are. So, is there anything you guys want to see from this maze at the event this year?
Sexy vampire strippers. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, me too. But I, I love the previous two Halloween mazes, like Halloween 2015 and Halloween 2 in 2016. And I love how both of those mazes had these really creative endings, and they're all original and stuff like that, with the like huge pumpkin in Halloween 2 and the mirror ending. So even though Trick or Treat isn't Halloween like Michael Myers, but like it's still a Halloween theme. So I'm really hoping that they do something like really creative with the ending, and it's like an original type thing. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be actually really cool if that could happen. I think there's just like the reason why, honestly, I think a lot of fans, including myself, really wanted to see Trick or Treat come is just because it's such a unique horror film. It has so many characters. Like literally every horror character you can think of is in that film. Like if you really think about it. And there's just so many cool ideas that you could do with these characters. And what's so neat about them is you can expand on those characters kind of more than the film. So I'm not saying take an original take, but I'm just saying like you could do so much with the characters, you know. And uh, did I haven't really kept up with it. So did they say what the facade's gonna be?
Murdy hasn't stated yet, but
Okay.
yeah.
But from what I heard, it's going to be like the principal's house. That's what people were telling me. That's what the facade's going to be.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't surprise me. I think it would be awesome to be that as facade, but we'll see. But all I'm saying is, dude, they have so much they could do with it, with the parade to the freaking ritual of the werewolves, and like, dude, they could do so much with it, and I think it's gonna be great. And of course, you know, you get to see the iconic character Sam, so like, who wouldn't want to see that? When I went to Florida last year and got to experience that scare zone, I will tell you that was probably the most incredible scare zone I've ever witnessed at a horror event. It was just so immersive, and it was so cool to like take pictures with all the characters. And the way Florida does their scare zones is different than in Hollywood. Like, they're more designed as photo ops, but anyways, what I'm trying to get at is it was just super cool to see those characters, and seeing the principal and all that was just super neat. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, but I also think it's like huge because we've been waiting so long for Trick or Treat, and Murdy's kept saying that like he's waiting for the sequel. But I just think it's just such an awesome win for like the HHN community and stuff that like we finally got Trick or Treat, and everyone's just so excited and stuff, and everyone's just happy. And I just think it's a real like step in the right direction. Just doing
absolutely.
Like the first two mazes are like Stranger Things, like huge, like people are going to be pouring into the parks because of like Stranger Things and how big it is, and like the cultural impact, and like Trick or Treat, you know, fans and horror fans, like they love that film, and it's a huge step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got Stranger Things, which is the biggest Netflix show, and then you got Trick or Treat. We've been waiting 10 years for this, almost 10 years.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, since John Murdy brought Horror Nights back in 2006, I think the fans requested this film for a very, very long time, you know, to be at the event. I don't know in specifics how long people have been requesting it, but I can tell you since I've been going to the event since 2009, that's been something as the years progressed. That's definitely been on the bucket list of mazes that I would like to see at Horror Nights. And I think 99% of the community can agree with that. It was like literally, I can say right now, probably the top 3 mazes that people would love to see at Horror Nights would be It, Exorcist, which has already been done, The Shining, and Trick or Treat, and probably Hellraiser. Those are probably the top mazes that everybody's been wanting to see. And I'm pretty much can guarantee that everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, but, you know, one of the things that I'm really excited for is, I know I heard you guys before I got into the podcast. I'm really excited about having the soundstage after almost 4 years of not having one.
Yeah.
You know, for Stranger Things. I'm really excited about that. And I know that's going to be the longest maze there. That's why I'm probably going to wait to do that at the end of the night.
Yeah. I mean, wait time wise, it's probably going to be a real hectic area because I don't want to divert back to it because we already kind of spoke about it, but just real quick, it was just something that come up to my mind. It's definitely something that's been a face of promotion for this year. The website, the cover photos, the you know, all that, the promotion itself. It's definitely something that's a huge headliner for the event, and honestly, I don't want it to say it. When I say this, I don't want it to be taken out of context, but it's going to be like The Walking Dead of Horror Nights, where it's literally the main promotion, and it's the main reason why most people are going to the event is because of Stranger Things.
I totally agree with you.
Like, because that's how Walking Dead was for like 4 years or 3 years. It was the main reason why people came, is because of The Walking Dead. It was the main promotion. Everything was The Walking Dead, and that's kind of the direction I see that they're going with Stranger Things. Now, I'm not saying they're going to take it that direction. It's just for this year, for promotion wise, they're doing that.
No,
it's definitely a no-brainer to do Stranger Things, because it's like the biggest television series there is out like at the moment, and like you go to the store, you go to Target, Walmart, we see Stranger Things like stuff all over the damn place, and it's pretty much it's huge for them. It was a no-brainer that this was gonna happen eventually.
The 80s is just a badass time, dude. Like, it's just cool. Like, it's just a cool time period, and like life was simple back then. And like, I mean, I make it sound like I was alive during that time, but like, you make it look, you look back at it, and it's just like it was so simple, and it's just a really cool time. And I think like having the Stranger Things and like the whole kind of 80s aspect is just cool. That's just cool to me.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Do you think for this year's Halloween Horror Nights, like Orlando has already announced that they're doing it based on season 1. Do you think it's going to be the same thing for Hollywood, where we're going to get season 1 this year, and then they're going to bring Stranger Things back the following year for season 2?
It's hard to say, because they're testing this out to see how the fans are going to react when the mazes launch. You can't really base it off of hype until the attraction is actually experienced by guests when the event kicks off. So you can't you can hype something up, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good. You know what I mean? Until the fans and the guests and the people who are paying the money experience it firsthand and review it, that's when people can really determine if it will come back as a maze. Now, I don't know if it's going to be based off first or second or both. I don't know, but I can assume that it's going to be based off the first season alone.
Yeah, he pretty much confirmed that at Monster.
He confirmed it in a tweet a few weeks ago that it'd be season 1 only. Yeah. So
I guarantee that it's gonna lead to us at the ending on like a cliffhanger leading up to season 2, and I can guarantee that we'll probably see it come back in the event in some type of shape or form in the previous years. It could be next year, the following, whatever, but that's just like spitballing, and that's way ahead of the carriage. But yes. James, I definitely can, picture this coming back to the event in some shape or form.
Okay.
Well, like how you were saying, Tristan, since this is all about like how it's like it's received, which is pretty much why he's putting this much work into it, make it into a soundstage, and like he's been tweeting saying that he wants to make like all these cool new effects for it. Absolutely. He wants this, like Universal needs this maze to succeed for them to keep bringing it back and pretty much just milk the crap out of it like Walking Dead.
Absolutely, it's the biggest TV series. It is the biggest TV series. It's almost in a sense The Walking Dead, and that's the best way I can explain it. Walking Dead was the biggest TV show in history. It had more viewers than the Super Bowl. Like, that's how big it was. Like, it was just so big. And
right.
The show's died down now, but Stranger Things is basically becoming that. And what's cool about Stranger Things is you literally just pay your Netflix and you can watch the whole season in a day or two. And that's what everyone does. They just love it. It's a show that you watch and you get addicted to, like, right off the bat.
Right. And one of the things that I said in one of my podcasts, I don't remember which one, but I'm like, if you guys are going to Halloween Horror Nights, just do the free trial, watch Netflix, and then there you go. You got it for free. If you are not subscribed to Netflix,
Yeah, pretty much. That's like another of like the big reasons why it's so popular. Since Netflix right now is like the hottest thing out there. Since like you were stating, people just log on, pay $9 a month, and you can pretty much binge watch the whole show in a day or whatnot. Yeah. Which is why this show is like has such a big impact on people. And it's just overall, just like to close it off, like it is pretty much like the hottest like television series there is right now, and it was a no-brainer that Universal was gonna hop in on this and do it at one point, and they're gonna try to milk it as much as they possibly can from this point forward.
Absolutely.
And since we all know the show is gonna keep going on, so they're gonna do it as much as they can, pretty much.
It will become something, and again, with how we saw American Horror Story and are at Horror Nights, they based it off of like the seasons and stuff like that, and it was like a collage of seasons. But my point is it came back because it was just so popular. The show was so popular and it did so well. They brought it back. The first year they did like the collage of like what was it, season 1, season 4, and what 5? Was that correct? I don't know.
Yeah, 5.
It was season 1. It was season 1 Murder House, season 3 for Freight.
Yeah.
And then season 5 Hotel.
Yeah, but anyways, and then they brought it back with the Roanoke. But my point is it's just like it is a popular, show, and they brought it back because it's milking it, and I hate to use that word because it's not. I don't think that's like a good way to explain it, but that's the best way to explain it on a promotion standpoint.
No. I totally agree with you, Tristan. And
and I don't like to say that Universal like milks this property, but in a sense, it's used to market, and you got to go where the money flows. That's just what you have to do. And,
right.
And it's a smart move. It really is. It is a smart move.
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit about business, and yeah, I totally agree with you, Tristan. You get your biggest property that you want to promote out there. People are going to come from miles and miles to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And like, one thing I really like is pretty much like the balance in this, and like that Stranger Things is that big property that everybody's gonna go see. Yeah. It's gonna draw in all the crowds, and then you have Trick or Treat, which is like the fan requested maze that everybody's been requested. So you have something for like general audiences, and you have something for the fans, which I think is kind of nice on Murdy's part to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Tristan, I really want to play PUBG. Those 3 maps, man.
PUBG? Bro, we'll play PUBG later. We're doing a podcast.
No, I mean, I need my Xbox, bro. Like, I saw those new maps coming out. But anyways, go back to your topic.
Wait,
PUBG.
Let's wait. Are we ready to move on to our next topic, or?
Fortnite's lame. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So then, if none of you guys have anything else to say about like Trick or Treat or whatnot, we're going to talk a little bit about the construction. Since again, construction has started on Trick or Treat, and we can tell a few things by what we've seen from the Mummy venue. So the facade looks like it's going to be a house. At first, people thought it was going to be Mr. Craig's house, but now it looks a lot more like it's going to be the house from like the beginning of the film, where like they have like all like the Halloween decorations on the yard and whatnot. So I feel like it's going to be kind of set up like The Exorcist was, where like they kind of built up the whole block leading up inside the house, which should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Murdy. Wait, no, you go.
I was gonna say, I mean, based on like I said, I haven't really kept up with the construction and stuff, and that's just how it is. But based on what you were saying, Jose, that's probably the direction they're going to go. Very similar to The Exorcist, and kind of similar to the way The Shining was set up too. I mean, but The Shining was just a hedge maze. But my point is it, kind of builds that up. It had like all the details outside, building up where you are. Like it sets the theme very quickly, And I feel like that's probably what they're going to do. And if you guys have ever seen the movie Trick or Treat, like the first house is, it gets you hooked right away because you don't know, without spoiling the movie if anyone has never seen it, but you don't know what's going on. It kind of leaves you like, what the heck just happened, And I feel like if they could capitalize that while walking through this, I think it'd be really awesome. Like, setting it up as like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah,
exactly.
What did you want to say, James?
No, I said, I agree with Tristan because the first time I saw that movie, that opening scene with that house, I totally agree. It's like, what's going on? You don't know exactly.
Yeah, it gives you like this, Halloween. You see all the kids trick or treating. You see the couple with all the Halloween decorations, and just gives you that Halloween vibe of like, wow, this is cool. Like, that's what we love. We love Halloween. We love the decorations. We love all that. And then it kind of takes this twist. And if they could utilize that as setting up the theming as the flow of the attraction, I think it would be awesome to see that like in person, you know, with
Right.
all the just all the props out there, like all the Halloween props would be really cool. It'd be cool if they had like a live performer out there in the queue.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
and I wanted to say, just adding on to that, Murdy said on Twitter that there'd be two facades, one outside the maze, which looks like the house from the beginning of the film,
Oh, cool.
and then one inside the maze, which I think could be the principal's house or Mr. Creek's house, which I think is really cool that we're getting like two facades, like a maze inside, a facade inside the maze, which I think is really cool. But one of the things I love so much about Trick or Treat is like the opening credits is literally like the best like opening credits. Like I love the comic book type thing and how it tells the story. And I would like, I know this probably won't happen, but I would adore it if like we went from each story to story with like a comic book like type like thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I would enjoy that too.
And then also from like the look of the construction, like this picture that Justin just showed me just like right now, actually, like it looks like there's like a 2-story staircase that was built towards the end of the maze. So that's probably Mr. Craig's house from like the last scene in the film. So I think that's kind of like where we're gonna end the maze. So I think it is gonna like take the flow of like pretty much like go the way the movie goes, like start off where the movie starts and like end where it starts.
Which would be the right way to do it, you know?
Yeah. So instead of just like throwing each scene like wherever, but yeah, it gives it more of like a structure to like those who've seen the movie. So
the bus is gonna be cool, man. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I want to see how they do that.
Yeah.
How they pull that off.
Yeah, the quarry. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. But they're probably gonna use the AHS bus from 2016.
Oh, I don't care what bus they use. I'm just saying that it's just gonna be cool. Like that's probably one of the coolest scenes in the movie. Is the whole bus scene and all the children and they're like all like basically like come back from the dead, and it's like really cool, like you know. And I feel like those characters would be really awesome. But that's ahead of the carriage. Yeah, we'll see when the attraction happens. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that would set up like a really cool scene actually. Like you walk in,
right.
just like all full of fog,
Right.
and then like you kind of have like the kids who are dressed up like the ghost children, and then like the actual ghost children show up in the same room. It would just like
I think it'd be cool if they utilize kind of a similar technique that they did with I can't even speak. If they did a similar like effect with La Llorona, with like the children in the lake and like the smell of like the water, and it was just smelled like really. It gave you like that bog feel, you know. You're like it made you feel kind of immersed in that environment, like. You know, and I feel like if they could do that but expand on it bigger, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I agree. But I also wanted to add on, like the location of this maze is going to be the Mummy Queue, and it just shows that Murdy is really confident because certain scenes in the film are really like huge, like the quarry and stuff like that. And the Mummy Queue is, like we all know, the Mummy Queue is a little bit smaller than most of the venues. So it just shows that Murdy is like really confident with like Trick or Treat and like, the location and stuff like that, like Stranger Things in the soundstage, and he's really confident with Stranger Things and Stranger Things, maybe doesn't have the most content in the world. I'd say like Trick or Treat has more, but it's like it's going in that soundstage, and Trick or Treat has a lot of content, but it's going in the Mummy Queue, which is a smaller queue than like most queues. So it just shows a lot of confidence.
Well, if you think about it, Trick or Treat really doesn't have. It has a lot of characters. It's scenery, its setting. There's really not so much of like crazy sets if you really think about it. The movie's sets, like where the setting is kind of simple. I think the only complex I would say would be the whole like quarry area. That would probably be the more extreme scenery to do. With like the sunken bus and the lake. I think that would be the most difficult because most of the time it's just taking place in like a city or someone's house. It's not super crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Tristan. Like, what I'm wondering is how they're going to do the quarry, because
I hope they do it.
Well, yeah, if they do it, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah.
Bang bang. Yep.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys a question really quick. So
Yeah.
if we were not losing the Jurassic Park queue,
Mm-hmm.
do you think Trick or Treat would have been moved over there, or do you think it still would have gone in the Mummy no matter what?
I think it still would have gotten the Mummy. Honestly.
Okay.
I don't think they you have to look on a standpoint. When they design Horror Nights, when they design the mazes, they already know which locations are going to be available for Horror Nights or not. So they work around what they have available.
Right.
So no matter what, it wasn't like Trick or Treat was going to be designed to be in the Jurassic Park, but we had to scrap it and move to another location for Jurassic Park. They designed it for the Mummy queue. Period.
Okay.
They just did. I'm sure John Murdy probably would like to maybe do it somewhere else, but that's not my call, and I don't know, and I don't want to speak for him. So
Right. Exactly.
but a fan can theorize, and I honestly believe that he had a vision for the Mummy queue, and that's it. I honestly believe that's where it is. I think that's where he wanted to be, and the team wanted it to be there, and the designs just work perfectly for the Mummy queue.
Yeah.
Just like any other maze. I think they're put there for a reason, and yeah, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. And like how Justin says, and he's putting it in the Mummy queue. Like he has confidence in that venue. Like he knows what he's doing by putting it in that venue. So I think he would have kept it in there since.
You have to think
Tristan
too.
was-
For the past 3 years, I'm including this year, have probably been the biggest IPs that everyone's been wanting to see. The Exorcist, The Shining, now Trick or
And now,
Treat.
yep.
So like it has its image of having the high-end IPs because it's also a great way for someone to go through and hit an awesome IP, and then that long walk to the Metro sets, and that long walk you can talk about, wow, I just experienced that. That was so cool. And it makes sense, like on a flow aspect as well as like guest control or I don't know, crowd control. It makes more sense. It's just my opinion. I think it's gonna work because you have to think too. Stranger Things is in the soundstage, literally right behind Transformers. Literally
Yeah,
right
Transformers.
Yeah.
so, like, again, it's another maze you're going to be walking to, and you're going to be walking from that point. You're going to go through that. Then you're probably going to do Trick or Treat, and then you're going to walk to the Metro sets, and you're going to be talking the whole way over there about, like, everything you just saw. It's honestly, from that standpoint, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, another thing, too, about the Mummy queue, like, like Josue was saying, and Tristan, like, last year we had The Shining, and, a lot of people thought, oh, yeah, The Shining won't work in the Mummy queue and stuff like that. But, like, it totally did, like, huge sets and stuff like that for, like, the Overlook Hotel and stuff like that. So if they can fit The Shining in there, they can totally...
I will say this. The Shining was the first maze, in my opinion, that did not feel like it was in the Mummy queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've been going to the event for since 2009, and every maze that was in the Mummy queue has kind of always had the same flow and kind of same design in a sense. That was probably one of the few mazes that I could say that did not feel like it's a Mummy queue. Now, I want to say that with The Exorcist as well from the previous year, but it was just pitch black, so I don't even know what the hell was going on anyways. So I can't really tell on like the flow of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I think there was 2 mazes. I definitely agree with The Shining it didn't feel like it was in the Mummy queue, and then in 2008 when they had HHN's Massacre back in business down there.
Shit. I heard that was freaking crazy maze, man. I wish I could experience it.
That was crazy, yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I wish I could have experienced it. But anyways, that's all. That's all I had to say, Jose.
Yeah, pretty much. And the interesting thing about the Mummy queue is that you can pretty much just mold it any way you want. Like this venue has changed, like the way it's structured so many times. Like, I remember like back in like 2009 where they had Saw up to like 2011, I believe, with Hostel. Like it would just be like this big U-turn type layout.
Yeah.
And then like after that was like Silent Hill, like you would start on the opposite end, and then like where the entrance is now, and that kind of flipped again where
Yeah.
this is the end. And
And
that's
then
how it's
this is
kind of
the
been from
end.
now on.
And then you also had what else was in there? Evil Dead. Yeah, Evil Dead
Yeah,
was
Evil
there.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
it's definitely it's funny because you mentioned that, Jose. It's actually that is true because like all the other venues, all of them kind of have the same facade. Like the facade's always in the same place. Like Jurassic Park, the facade's always there. All the Metro sets facades are all in the same place. This has been the queue where the facade is really changed on like where you enter and exit. It changes.
yeah,
And
I'm
yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
Now
You know that brings a very valid point. You know, and it kind of gives it a variety because when you switch the exits to the entrances, it changes the flow of the maze. And Horror Nights has been going on for so long. They learn from what works and what doesn't. And the biggest thing is obviously crowd control because we all know Horror Nights, those crowds get massive.
oh yeah.
And this queue, when you enter on the side where it's at from like The Exorcist and The Shining and this year for Trick or Treat, I feel like the queue isn't as crazy as it was when Silent Hill or like Evil Dead. Because you remember that queue, dude? That would go all the way down to like Jurassic Park. You guys remember that crap? It would like
Oh yeah.
it would get into the point to where the actual Jurassic Park maze, like whatever was in that venue, would actually the line would combine. So people would be so confused, like where the fuck do we go? Oh, you
Mhm.
know, it's just like I remember how crazy it used to be. So I feel like the controlling of the crowd works better on that the side it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, and they've tested it out like these last
Oh
3 years. Like
yeah,
this is how it's pretty much been. And like 2016 with The Exorcist, like the crowds being huge and whatnot,
oh yeah.
like
That
it
that
worked out for them. So
what was I think that was
definitely, I
the
think that
highest.
they're taking that in.
Was The Exorcist the highest waiting maze in like Horror Nights history or some shit? Like literally, it
Yeah,
was like
opening
four
night it was
hours.
like 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, like I heard it was like literally got up to 4 hours for one night. Like it was just that insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, so I'm
No,
not
it
stating
it was
facts.
true. It's true, Tristan. I was there that night, and The Exorcist got up to 4 hours wait. So
Yeah, I don't know if that was 100% factual, but dude, all I know is I wouldn't wait for 4 hours for nothing.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But
Dude,
again,
like
that just pretty much
that is
shows that they
insane,
know what
man.
they're doing.
Yeah, but no, it's true. It shows that they know what they're doing and it works. It works.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean, if they could fit a 4 hour line in there, I'm pretty sure like they can manage to trick or
yeah,
treat.
I
So
mean, think about it before like Silent Hill. I remember when I had to go in that queue, and this is when the entrance is where the exit is right currently for the venue.
yeah.
And dude, the line was like 90 minutes, but the line was so back all the way past like it was like by the food cart by Jurassic Park. So like
Hmm.
where like the raptor encounter is right now, past that. Like I waited in that and I was just thinking, dude, this is so ridiculous because it was those massive switchbacks. Like you go and you're like, "Oh, it's right here." And then you look and it's just a freaking straight shot and then you make another zigzag and a zigzag and a zigzag and a zigzag and then you finally make it. So it was just so crowded. And like when you flip the queue on the other side, you can fit so much more there. Like it opens a completely whole area of queue space. So that's probably the main reason why they did it.
Yeah,
No,
pretty much.
yeah, I remember that queue.
Also, I have a theory. This is just my theory. I don't know if it's factual, but I think I think the Horror Nights team puts the facades on the other side so we can't see it because he knows that we're nosy and we'll take pictures and bust the facades before even the maze is announced. So I feel like if it was on the other side and before it even got announced, I feel like people would have already took pictures and leaked it out like immediately. Um,
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, that
that's
happened
just
with
my
like
theory. I don't know if that's factual, but
that actually
I
that
remember when I used to update, I took pictures of the maze pallets. So there was like pallets, and in the wood pallets they have like special coating for the mazes. And I remember I took a picture, I zoomed in, and it said The Walking Dead, and I tweeted, I was like, "Huh, The Walking Dead, like TWD, like The Walking Dead, like what the heck?" And John Murray's like, "Stay away from my damn pallets, like." You know, I remember that, and it made me laugh because it was just like we crack so many things because of just like locations and stuff. So I feel like in theory, this is just me thinking. I don't know if it's factual, but I think it has a lot to do with that. I would hope it has to do with that. That means that that means our fan base is engaged into the event, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
It
like
means
20,
we pretty much caused it. Pretty much, that's what it would mean. Just,
like in
Yeah, like
20,
we can take credit for that.
Hey, but again, like I don't know if that's like factual or not.
Like
Yeah, it's a funny thought though. Yeah.
like in
It is
20,
a funny thought. It's super funny to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like in
Hilarious.
2016, there was like this crazy debate on like the JPQ and the Metro sets, like because I remember people like arguing constantly about the facade for JP being like Krampus, but it was actually like Halloween. And then we like as soon as the tram finally passed by the Metro sets because there was something blocking it, like
Yeah.
people got photos of the facade for like Metro sets, and they were just like, yeah, it's Krampus. Like, there's no way it's not Krampus. It looks exactly like the house. And so, yeah, it just shows how like engaged we are. And like last year with the JPQ and how like we didn't know what the JPQ was, and like thousands and thousands of speculation. What's it gonna be? And like Blumhouse, like the movie theater, we didn't know what that was gonna be. It could have been like anything really. It was like a movie
there's some
theater.
facades that are a little tricky, and I think it was cool that they based the facade off a film that no one saw. So no one can speculate on something that they have not seen. So it was really cool to know like all these different speculations and theories were going around, and like no one could crack it because it was something that no one knew what it was from. The facade of the Insidious from last year. So I thought that was really cool. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, and on this topic, that pretty much brings me to my next topic. You know, construction has also started in the backlot where American Horror Story was last year. As far as I know, it's just a tent, so there's nothing major there. But also in the Persian Courtyard, and there has been a facade has gone up. It just looks like a building. Like you really can't make out what anything is. But
yeah.
I just think it's pretty cool. I think this is actually the earliest they've started construction on the Parisian Courtyard.
Yeah, usually from what I remember now, man, I haven't done Horror Nights updates in like over 2 years, so keep in mind things have changed. But when I used to do them, I remember like Parisian Courtyard wouldn't even go up until like almost a month from Horror Nights. Like it would go up literally like the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks of August. So, and the event started in like September, like mid-September. So I remember like literally it would be put up like literally a month before the event started.
Yeah.
And it's interesting on how they changed that. You know, more time is the better. You know, if a maze is being constructed months in advance, that's just more time for them to capture the details and fine-tune everything and make sure it's ready for employee preview and opening night.
Right.
That's pretty much what I was getting at. But like having it be constructed this early, it could be that he wants to like have it be like more detailed and pretty much, or it could just be just random. Like he's like, this.
Well, it also could be
on this one,
with construction, it's all about when they can start it. They have to get a permit, a construction permit. And sometimes those permits can get delayed. Sometimes it could be, and that's just how it is. That's proven in Florida. That they the permits go out for construction, and they start those things like months in advance, and so with them, it could be just something where they got the permit to start construction earlier, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like what I keep going back to though, it's that like I feel like this maze is like the last one to always start construction, since it is pretty much just like dead center in the upper lot, and you have like Despicable Me right there, and you have all these other attractions surrounding it, which would pretty much just give room for guests to like wander in and about like the upper lot during like the summer, which is where it gets the most crowded. So why close it off like right before summer if you know that it's gonna like that area pretty much just gets really crowded in summer months.
We used to work working in the theme park, and like summer peak, it's insane. And like that area is a huge area for food. A lot of people will go and sit in that courtyard. A lot of people wait for family members to get off Despicable Me, all that stuff. And it gets really busy in there. So when they cut that off, it really confines the day ops. But honestly, I don't think they're too worried about that. Because there's a bunch of reserved seatings other places too. It's not like that's the only reserved seating for people, but
Yeah.
there's other areas that the guests can go sit. But you made a valid point, Jose. It's like cutting it off does, kind of create a day operation madness in a sense. But
Right.
it's a good thing for Horror Nights. So I will say, honestly, I think it's a step forward, setting up a maze in that area, and yeah, that's what I personally believe and think. And that's just it.
So speaking of the Persian Courtyard,
Yeah.
I remember one year that they were when it was Dracula Untold, and they were not ready, and they started like 3 weeks, as you said, Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they were still putting paint or something on opening night.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, people don't understand. Like when you run a massive Horror Nights is a production. It's a show.
Right.
It is a show. From the moment you walk through the gates, the moment that you exit the gates, you are experiencing a show.
No,
And
I know that.
Putting a show on is so much more than what people think, man. Like people don't realize the amount of talent and dedication and hard work people put into making these attractions at Horror Nights, even any haunt. If it's a home haunt, a multi-million-dollar production, whatever it is, like people don't realize, like it takes a lot of work. So even when you see these, like if you think about it, it's pretty damn impressive for them to put up an attraction in 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the Persian Courtyard. If you think about it, that is pretty dang impressive.
That's amazing.
If they're putting paint on the last second, I don't care, dude. The fact is that they just built a damn attraction that has functioning lights and functioning scares and everything's working. That's
impressive.
I was impressed with that. I mean, even though Dracula Untold wasn't my favorite maze that year, it was still a pretty good maze, and I was amazed that they got everything working within 3 weeks.
I think all of us were amazed that they got it up and running at that time. I remember when we did gatherings, when we were doing Horror Nights gatherings, we would sit here and we were like, dude, like this is not going to be finished. Like,
yeah, I remember. I remember those.
My final construction video, and I did it literally 2 days before the event launched.
I remember. I watched that video,
and I put it up. And when I was editing it and everything, I was just looking at it and I was like, dude, there's just no way they're going to finish this. And they did. They finished it.
It was way worse for the end, though. If you remember, like, I remember a day before employee preview night, I was there and, like, the facade hadn't even been painted yet.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. It's impressive that they can build something so massive and so complex and make it come to life. That is super awesome.
Yeah, and it shows just how like how impressive Halloween Horror Nights is as like a production, and just like, how much dedication is just put into like everything.
Absolutely. I mean, I know as fans, like you can't please everybody as fans or as people who enjoy the event. You can't please everybody. You're not gonna make everyone happy when you go through an attraction. So even though Dracula Untold, that we're speaking of that, even though it's so irrelevant, but we're talking about it. But it's just like, I can say that majority of the population did not like that maze, but it's still awesome to know that they busted their butts off to put that attraction on, even though how delayed it was. And yeah, that's that. So
and I also think
having construction now could mean multiple things. It could be a good thing. It could be meaning that in this maze, there could be some scenes that need extra time because they're just either really massive or they're super complex or there's a lot of detail. There could be so many different things that you can think about. But at the same time, We could be overthinking it, and it could just mean nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
like
that's
Insidious.
why I love the Horror Nights community, because it's just like everyone just throws their own ideas out there, and it's just so like speculative. Like everyone has their own opinion, and everyone has something to say. Like, and it's just super. I find it just super entertaining. It's just cool.
Yeah, like I agree. Like last year Insidious started like super early. Like that was the first maze to start construction.
Yeah, most of the time it usually is in that venue, Jurassic Park. But
Yeah, and then there was like a lot of like it wasn't a very complex maze. Not really like anything really special or anything like that. So we could be like not overthinking it, but it
Yeah.
also could be something really grand and really beautiful and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And like scary,
Yeah. Absolutely. Whatever's going in that venue, it's gonna be cool. So
Yeah, well, that brings me to my next question. What do all of you guys think it's going to be? If you had to take
I don't have a say. I don't have an opinion or anything like that. So you're not gonna. Yeah. Anyone else want to spitball? But I don't have anything to
He
say.
hasn't been like giving out any code names or really any hints lately. So again, just by going on what we see and what we know, like since we virtually don't know anything about it, just by
Right.
looking at the facade, which looks like a factory of sorts, I honestly have no idea. To be completely honest, I have.
Yeah,
completely no clue.
I was trying to think what it could be too, and I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. That's why I don't have an opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, like
what
it's way
gonna
too
be.
early to start like speculating and stuff. I think when like the facade is like more detailed and stuff, we can start going, yeah, that looks like this property or it looks like this properties, but it's like way too early to be guessing right now.
We won't know, and the way also when people find out what mazes are coming and things like that is by John Murdy's tweets. You know, he tweets certain things about the attractions that are coming, and then you start taking those hints and clues and you start basing it off of what you see. So you start matching it to what you see. And
Right.
it's like what Justin said, we can't base anything off of simple wood planks at this point.
Right, exactly.
You can't. It could be anything. It could be freaking Bob the Builder maze. Like I don't.
Oh my god.
It could be anything, man.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on that. So
What do you think it is?
honestly, I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
think
know.
anyone knows.
This is the end again. He's building it really early this year to get a second chance, pretty much. It's confirmed.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right, so on to my next topic I wanted to talk about, which is another big speculation point in the community right now, which is that Murdy has kind of stated on Twitter that Terror Tram is going to be original this year. And again, he hasn't really given out much clues onto what this could be or what it could mean. But I just think it's pretty cool that the Terror Tram might just be original again this year and not based on an IP. So what do you guys think about that?
I will say this. So in his tweet, he basically confirmed it is an original concept. So having an original concept is awesome because with Horror Nights Hollywood, we get infested with IPs. And with IPs, you know what you're going to see. You know what you're going to experience. And you know the baseline of what it is. You know, for example, like we've been talking about Trick or Treat and the Stranger Things. We know what we're going to see when we go in there. We know what kind of characters, we know what kind of setting, we know the music, we know everything about it. With an original concept, it gives it a whole different element of like, what are we going to see? What kind of cool story, what kind of backstory, what kind of characters, what kind of... For me, music is the most important thing. And I think if you have good music, like that sets up the theming and it makes you eerie and creepy, you did your job right. And I thought it was really cool with the Hollywood Harry, Terror Tram, Eli Roth's Terror Tram. I thought that was awesome. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was awesome because it was something unique. It was something that they took Universal and they totally took like the tour guide. It was basically like he would kill all the tour guides and he had all their name tags from all these different years on his jacket and things like that. That's awesome. That's creepy. That's dark. It's something unique. And that's something that I hope that they can do for Terror Tram. Like expand on things that we just wouldn't even think about.
And also, like, adding on to what Tristan said, like, an original Terror Tram, like, you know, Hollywood Harry. Like, Hollywood Harry for 2016, a lot of people don't realize, but it changed, like, the tram route. Like,
Oh, it changed everything.
yeah, it changed. Like, it was, like, this insane, like, original concept and had a lot of detail to it. But it also, like, changed the tram route. And, like, that was kind of, like, revolutionary at the time. Like, people were flipping out over the fact that, like, we're going somewhere else other than the same direction. So I really hope that, like, you know, last year we didn't really have that. We walked the same way. So I'm hoping that we get that back, the same, like, tram route that Hollywood Harry had, or a new route. You know, I'd love that.
Yeah, I mean, the limits are limitless in a sense. Like, it literally could be anything. We could see so many different characters and so many different themes, you know, and we'll just leave it up to what comes, you know. But
Yeah, and speaking of what you and Justin said, yeah, I really did enjoy the original Terror Tram 2006 Hollywood Harry. That was really good.
it was cool.
Yeah. So this year, I'm really excited because, you know, from the years that I've been going, the Terror Tram has always been an IP, except for 2016.
Has it always
So,
been an IP? No way.
Pretty much since 2006 and 2016 were the only years that it wasn't IP based.
Well, didn't they do Jack the Clown?
Well, but that was IP based because he pretty much had Freddy, Jason, Leatherface with
Oh
him.
yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Man, dude, yeah, you're freaking right. So having an original IP is gonna be cool. It's definitely something that's gonna be unique to the Terror Tram.
All
And
right.
like, okay, and
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna spill it out. I'm gonna say it. A lot of people that have been going to the event for so many years started to learn that the Terror Tram is just kind of blah, and I hate to say that, but it's true. It just kind of is always the same thing over and over and over again. It's just different theme, but it's like different theme, but same scares. You know, oh, there's gonna be guys over here. There's gonna be this over there. So when Justin brought up a point that they changed like the route and changed everything, it left us on like edge. Like, wow, like we don't know what we're gonna be experiencing, you know, with Hollywood Harry, that Terror Tram. So I really hope that they do that this year to kind of spice it up because, like, and that's not even my opinion. Like, coming from someone who has been so involved in the Horror Nights community and gets everyone's opinions about everything, everyone says that the Terror Tram is just kind of something that you do laugh, something that you kind of just, you know, you just do for fun. If it has a low weight, you do it, you know?
No, I totally agree with you. I mean,
And it sucks because it's like, the Terror Tram is so unique. It's probably that is probably the most unique thing to Horror Nights because you get to get off the studio tour tram and walk the back lot on where they filmed movies and filmed the Bates Motel and all that stuff. Like, that stuff is cool, man. It's cool to think about it because you're never going to do that ever again unless you pay like, what is it, $400 for the VIP thing for daytime or some crap like that. I don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, dude, like no one's gonna do that, you know. Like, especially if you're like a local, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but as I was saying, you know, this year's Terror Tram, you know, the limits are
Yeah,
whatever
it's
they can
limitless.
do,
They can do
and
anything.
I really want to know what I want to know if he's creating an original character. You know what?
Well, if in total, Florida has like this 1980s theme, and they've
Right.
announced that on their website. They've announced that all their
On-
scare zones are kind of 1980s that have been revealed so far, and especially with the Stranger Things and things like that,
Right.
and Trick or Treat as well. You know, it would be cool if they could do something with the 1980s, taking like some like. This is just an idea, but I don't know. Like taking like murderers or like serial killers and like putting them out there on like the 1980s like killers or something like that. Whatever. Like, it's just something that would be cool to like kind of utilize the 1980s theme and put that out there. It'd be really cool. But I don't know. We'll just see what happens, man.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
so-
I totally agree. I think like
The
you know,
theming would be cool, man. Like,
yeah,
it would fit. It would be really cool. But again, it could be anything. It seriously could be anything.
right. But
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
but sorry, just one last thing I want to say. From what Justin has said, when we went in 2006 with the new path, that was really cool because as you guys all said, we didn't know what we were going to get, but
Yeah, absolutely.
what I feel like last year they should have done a change in the path direction. So as I agree with you guys, I hope it's not going to be the same path this year. And yeah, I mean
It's hard because when you do a tear tram, you can't really change the route. It's
right,
basically going to be the same no matter what. You can't change it.
right.
It,
I'm just
it,
saying.
if you change it, it's going to change the whole operations on how they built the tear tram for so many years. And you have to think there's so many guests back there every hour. And
Right.
that's property. Like that's not you are on Universal like movie lot. That's property. Like, and when you have hundreds of thousands of guests back there, like every hour, and trams constantly going back and forth, this is the most easiest way to control the crowd.
No, I get
If you
what you're
change the
saying.
route and change everything, it's just going to be chaotic, and it's going to change everything. So I don't think the actual layout will change, but they can still maybe do some unique things to the Terror Tram to make it feel different. But it's still gonna drop you off in front of the Whoville. You're gonna go through, and you're gonna go through the Bates Motel. Then you're gonna walk through and to the War of the Worlds like set and all that crap. It's gonna be the same no matter what, just because you can't change it. And if they do change it, my hat goes off to them. But
Exactly.
I can honestly tell you right now, it will not change.
Yeah,
It can't change. I can't physically see them changing it just because of the crowd control. I cannot see that.
No, and what I meant was like, I know it's going to be the same path, but what you said before, like,
Yeah, like tweaking it, adding
yeah,
some unique things. Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
Pretty much, but to me, like the Terror Tram being like an original concept, like the thing that excites me the most is that one of my biggest problems with Terror Tram is that sometimes what they put in there, it doesn't work. Like with Terror Tram, like last year with Titans of Terror, like I don't think any of that pretty much worked or like fit the Terror Tram. Like you have like all these different like Chuckies and Jasons running around at the same time. Like just none of it made sense, and was like Hollywood Harry with the tram.
It
That
was a
Murdy made up his
story.
own
It was a
yeah, he made
story.
up his own original story, and with that story, like he was able to like mold it around the tram, so it was pretty much like everything made perfect sense with each other.
Right.
So
It was a story from the moment you got off to the moment you left. You understood the path that you went through, and it made sense. It made sense, and the kills that were utilized in that Terror Tram made sense. Last year's Terror Tram, just honestly, it was cool to see them, like those characters, and it was cool to see them all in the same Terror Tram. It was neat, but it just kind of felt kind of like, let's just throw a little bit of Jason, throw a little bit of Freddy, and a little bit of Chucky, and then we're good to go. You know?
yeah, to me, last year's tram, it just really felt like an excuse to like shoehorn Chucky in there and like try to promote Cult of Chucky somehow.
Well, yeah, it was
And since
all
they already
just
had those
promotion.
characters,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah, they just like throw it all together pretty much, and it
that's the
just
other
didn't
thing.
work
I feel
out.
like all the Terror Trams since I've been going have all been promotions for movies or like an IP based. It's all been that way. Think about it. Okay, so let's
it's
start off
true.
with Scream. You had
The
Walking
Walking Dead.
Dead, The
The
Purge.
Purge,
What else? What else is there?
pretty much just this year,
Saw.
Hollywood, and then this year.
Yeah, Saw. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I
Well,
didn't-
Chucky back in 2010 wasn't really promoting anything.
No, but it was funny as hell.
Yeah, it was.
I think no. Yeah, right. Saw was 2009,
Yeah, Saw.
and then Chucky was 2010.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Scream 2011, then 2012 Walking Dead, 2013 Walking Dead, and then 2014. What was 2014? Holy
Walking
shit.
Walking Dead.
Was it The Purge or
Oh,
Walking
no,
Dead?
it was Walking Dead again, and then it was The Purge 2015.
Oh,
and
that's right.
then Hollywood Harry, and then Titans of Terror 2017.
Yeah, you're right. Damn, man. So,
Yeah, this is like the 13th tram. Like Murdy has been saying on Twitter, like it just shows how far tram has come.
yeah, it's definitely going to be something that it will always be a part of Horror Nights because it's something that's unique to it. And it's like what I said. It's something that if you've never been to the event, it is something that you will be blown away on how cool it was. Because you guys, the first year you ever went to Horror Nights, and if you're watching this or you're part of this podcast now, you can't sit there and tell me the first time you did Terror Tram, you got off it and went, that was awesome. That was so cool. I got to
me,
walk
when
the
I
set.
when I did the first time, it was the coolest thing I had ever done. To be honest.
And that's what makes Terror Tram. And it was just so cool to walk those sets. It was so cool to see those things. And that is what made Terror Tram. And Terror Tram's been a part of Horror Nights. So if it ever left or whatever, I feel like it would be kind of like taking a piece of its soul away. As much as I honestly, my opinion, I would rather see the money being spent on the Terror Tram being spent onto a show or on a scare zone or another maze. I personally would prefer Horror Nights with no Terror Tram. But at the same time, it's kind of bittersweet because it's like Terror Tram's been a part of Horror Nights since the beginning. And I feel like it's kind of like something that is a unique aspect to the event itself.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a staple to Hollywood, and
Absolutely.
back in when Horror Nights started, a year before Orlando did it, I know that Hollywood did like a Terror Tram, which was like the only thing they actually did. But you didn't actually like get off and like walk, but like you were on the actual tour, and they called it the Terror Tram. So it pretty much started Horror Nights. So
right,
it's like a staple of the event, and it just sucks to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's just like
it's like going, and I know we're talking about Horror Nights, but it's like going to Knott's Scary Farm and saying that you're taking by Clarence. It's like taking away Ghost Town. You just can't take away Ghost Town. It's
exactly.
It's literally the heart of haunt. It's been there since the beginning. It's what made Knott's Scary Farm. It was the birth of it. So like when you take away that, it just wouldn't work. So I know there's lots of theories every year. Terror Tram's going to be leaving. Terror Tram, it won't leave. It's going to be there, and it will continue to be there.
And adding on to what you said about like the soul thing, like it was just kind of like last year with Orlando and how like it was Bill and Ted's last year, and like you know,
it was so big, dude. It was like literally people came and were crying. Mike Aiello was there, and he was, people were saying that he was just so sad. But it was like a bittersweet thing, It was just like, it was so sad, but it's like sometime the show has to go away at some time. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen with Terror Tram, but I'm just saying, like, at some point the show has to, like, die,
Right.
Yeah, pretty much, but if they're able to give it a breath of fresh air, and like just try to make us fans back on board with it, so like you were saying, like a new generation could experience this, it's fine by me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for keeping the Terror Tram original because it just opens up a whole spectrum of just uniqueness, and I'm totally game for that.
Yeah, and it's especially with like the new generation and stuff like that. It's just like we're gonna be getting like a lot of new fans this year and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time you do a massive, coming from someone who's been at the event since 2009, those crowds have tripled, if not quadrupled, the size from 2009 to now. Even the opening ceremony, like if you watch videos on YouTube of the opening ceremony back then, you look at the crowd, and it's like, it wasn't even half the freaking size it is now,
It's absolutely insane now. I don't know if you remember, Tristan, like back in the day, back in like 2009, most mazes wouldn't even reach like 2 hours wait time.
Like the max was like 90 minutes. Like seriously,
yeah,
that was the max.
It felt like a kind of just like
now
like a cult type of thing.
90 minutes is the norm. Now 90 minutes is just normal. Yeah, this is normal now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When the event has changed so much because you have so much big IPs. And honestly, I'm a firm believer that it all started from Saw, personally. I think once they started promoting Saw and bringing in the big like IPs of horror, like that's where it just took off, man.
I totally, absolutely agree. Me and Osoy were talking about this like closing night last year, like how like in 2009, Saw was like the first like really big blockbuster to make its way to Horror Nights.
Right, because like everyone was like, okay, we've seen Freddy, we've seen Jason, we've seen these things, but now it's just like, Saw was a huge blockbuster hit. It was huge, and it was a huge franchise. It still makes films to this day. It's still one of the biggest horror franchises to this day. You know,
Yes. And
and
sorry,
it
go
was
ahead,
it
Tristan.
was so unique and it was so awesome. And when people got to experience it, it was like, oh my gosh, like it put a wrench in your like gut almost. Like it just was like, ugh. Like when you walk through, you were like, oh my gosh, like that's the traps, like oh. And it was just cool to see the bear trap and the needle traps and like seeing Jigsaw's lair and all this stuff. But anyways, besides the point, that's when Horror Nights honestly started getting the crowds. Like that's my honest opinion. I felt like it just started getting more and more popular. Then they started introducing The Walking Dead, and they brought Silent Hill. Silent Hill was a huge one, and then they brought Evil Dead. And it just continuously progressed. You know.
I feel like everything just kind of exploded though with Walking Dead. Like 2012, when they brought Walking Dead, that's when pretty much like Horror Nights exploded, and like that's where like the
okay,
2.5 hour line started and whatnot.
Was definitely the big year, but then 2013 was just gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it was even
like
bigger.
I remember that, dude. Black Sabbath 13, like 3D. Dude, that line was like 2 hours, dude. It was nuts.
I remember that too. Yeah, it was
crazy. And then it also was a pivotal moment of the event because that was the first time we went in the Metro sets. It was the first time we used a sound stage. It was the first time that, you know, we could walk in Metro sets. Well, technically you didn't walk. The tram dropped you off. But it's still, like, the event changes year after year. It gets bigger and bigger, and bigger IPs come. And, you know, and I'm excited to see what this event this year has in store.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year's event. I mean, you got like two of the biggest properties that were just announced first. You know, that's gonna get people excited, and then you announce a scare zone, which everyone is excited for. That's gonna be on the Metro sets. You know, it's just, you know, I'm you know, as I tell people, you know, I haven't told you guys, but you know, you know, if the event's not good, I'm not going to go multiple times. But so far this year, I'm even thinking about getting the frequent fear pass just because of Stranger Things and Trick or Treat.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are on the same page as that. You know, a lot of people are just genuinely excited for these two mazes, and it's a really strong lineup right off the bat. And you know, we'll just see what's more announcements coming. You know.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask this question that I've been curious about myself, and that's like, which maze are you more excited for?
Trick or Treat. That's been announced?
Yeah, Trick or Treat or Stranger Things.
Trick or Treat. Definitely for me, Trick or Treat. I love Stranger Things, but I'm probably definitely the minority on this one. I love Stranger Things, don't take me wrong. But I am excited for it to come to Horror Nights, but I'm going to be the person to say it, and I'm probably going to be the only one that says it. I don't think it belongs at Horror Nights. I don't think it should be a maze at all. I think it's going to be cool, and I think it's definitely going to be awesome, but it's not scary. The sets are cool. I think that's the only reason why I would be excited to see this maze is because of the sets. It was the same feeling that I said with AVP. I don't think AVP should have ever been a maze, period. I just think it was just something that was just cool to be like immersed in those environments, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Stranger Things. I think it's a great show. I watch it. I love it, but I'm definitely in the minority when it comes to saying that I don't agree that it should be at Horror Nights. But hey, you got to follow where the money goes. And you know what? They might blow my socks off on it. I might come back and go, damn, you know what? It deserved to be there. It was fantastic. And I honestly feel like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I just think that it's really a tie for me, you know. Just Trick or Treat has all these characters, and it's a really great property. And Stranger Things is too, but it's not really all that much like maze material, but it's going in a soundstage. So they, you know, both mazes have their equal amount of ups and downs. And I love that. And, you know, like.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm more excited about Stranger Things. I don't get me wrong. I love Trick or Treat, the movie. It was good, but I'm more excited about Stranger Things. Just because it has a great story, it's really cool, and ever since I've watched the first episode, I Tristan, I was excited that it was announced as a maze, and
Mhm.
I know that you saying it shouldn't be a maze, but I think it should be a maze.
Yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I understand why people want it to be a maze. I get it. I'm on the like I said, I'm in the minority on this one, personally.
What
I'm
about
probably
you?
gonna, oh yeah,
What about you, Jose?
Well, for me, it's definitely Trick or Treat without a doubt.
yeah.
I kind of see where Tristan is coming from, as like myself too. I was a little kind of turned off by AVP in a sort of way, since again, like he said, it was just more of like, oh, look at these cool effects we can do, rather than being like a
Right.
scary type of maze or whatnot.
Right.
It was just more like you're looking at like the special effects that they can do and whatnot, and that's what I myself feel Stranger Things will be as well. And Trick or Treat is
Yeah.
something I've been wanting to see at the event since I pretty much started going. So without a doubt, that's probably going to be top of my list this year of like everything that gets announced.
Absolutely. I think ever since I've been going to the event, I've been wanting to see that since like 2009. I mean, like I saw the film when it was released, and ever since I saw the film, like when I saw it, I was like, this would be just awesome maze material. And everybody can agree that this is on the top 5 mazes that everybody wants to see at the event, and it's finally happening.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm excited to see it.
Stranger Things was not on the top 5. We didn't even know what Stranger Things was 3-4 years ago or whatever, like Trick or Treat's been around for so long, and everyone's been wanting to see it, and that's why I stick with Trick or Treat more than Stranger Things.
No,
I
don't.
feel like I am more hyped for that just alone because it's something I've been waiting for so long. I haven't been waiting for Stranger Things to come to Horror Nights because it's a new show, and it I don't think it belongs at Horror Nights. It's just my opinion. I don't think it's a wrong decision. I'm not upset. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it sucks. I just don't think it belongs in a maze. I don't think it belongs at all at a horror event. And then again, this is totally off topic, but then again, coming from day operations in a theme park, I don't think that there should be a daytime walking, like a walkthrough attraction, a scare house, or a haunted attraction, or a maze. I don't think a day operations should have that too. I just don't think it works for theming as that, and those are just my opinions.
No, but I totally agree with you on one
You know
thing,
what I mean?
Tristan.
Like I'm gonna state my opinion. It doesn't mean my opinion is right, and it doesn't mean that you guys are wrong. I'm all open for open ideas, and I'm definitely open to open mindset. I just don't think it's a. It's just I don't think it belongs. That's just it.
No, but I have to agree with you on one thing about the Walking Dead
Oh
attraction.
yeah,
I honestly thought
I
they
love the
should.
attraction. I love it, but I don't think it should be there every single day. I feel
Right.
like if that was like a Horror Nights attraction, it'd be awesome.
Well, let me ask you this: what about House of Horrors when it was there for daytime?
Again, it was something that was cool, but it was something that shouldn't belong there. I feel like it would be more cool to do a show more than a walkthrough maze because more people can sit down and watch a show off a classic monster. Most people would leave right in the beginning on a scare, so most people couldn't even experience the attraction beforehand. And that's what goes on with The Walking Dead too. A lot of people leave before they can even finish it because it's so scary.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I would rather see something on a standpoint of a show because it just works better, or like a shooting ride. Like how cool would that be to actually get on a cart and you shoot zombies with a gun and collect points and compete with your family or your friends?
Yeah, like
That
something
would be cool.
similar to like Voyage to the Iron Reef from
Yeah,
Knott's.
or
Yeah.
or anything at Disney or anything like that. That would be more cool. Walking Dead is cool. I think it's fantastic. I love the attraction. I think it's great. But I don't think again it belongs with the theming, and that's just my opinion.
Well, let me ask you this then. Why did you think that they chose a Walking Dead attraction for a daytime? Do you think it was just?
I don't have an opinion. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't have a say so on that, and I don't know. That's their choice. Um, and that's that, man. I
Well,
think, yeah.
pretty
I
much
don't really
it's
have,
like
I don't really have an opinion towards it.
since it's like so popular, like I guess I can see where they were coming from, but you know, I kind of disagree with you a little bit on what you were saying, since Horror Nights is such a big part of Universal that it just makes sense for them to have just like a little piece like during the daytime. But with what I agree with you on that Walking Dead, it doesn't make that much sense since it is a pretty like heavy show. It has like a lot of like gore and whatnot, stuff that you know they naturally don't want to have a daytime Universal when you have kids running around. At a nighttime event, it's completely different. But
yeah, and that's why I think
you pay money to experience those things. You're not paying money to see that during the day, and that's the way I look at it. And again, you know, and I get what you're trying to say too, Jose. Like with Universal Classic Monsters, it's Universal owned. They're the monsters, so you know you gotta really capitalize on like they're spooky, they're creepy, they're dark, you know. And I will say I love the House of Horrors. I was really sad when it closed. I was sad. I really liked the attraction.
I was sad too.
I think all of us were sad when it closed. It was awesome. I thought it was really cool for like a horror fan, and like you got to the queue was really cool. The maze itself was awesome, and all that. But I'm just saying, from an actual standpoint, in my opinion, I don't think that there should be a daytime operating attraction like that. But it's funny because when you actually break down reviews of like the operation parts, like the rides, Walking Dead is I think second or third most popular at Universal. Like people love it. It's just I don't think it just belongs in a theming. But that's my rant. I don't even know how we got here, but I just was ranting.
Oh, anyway, well, let's get a little bit back on topic. So now, since at this point we pretty much have like just 2 properties announced, but there's another property that I'm pretty sure is a no-brainer at this point that I kind of want to get you guys' opinions on, since the trailer was just released for the new film, and that's Halloween. Since you know, again, Universal loves to self-promote themselves. This movie is coming out in October. I pretty much think this is a no-brainer to come to the event. I, without a doubt, think that this movie will come to the event. What do you guys think about it?
Really great trailer. Lots of like material and stuff like that. You know, it looks a lot like, you know, if it was a maze, it'd be a mix of between the 2015 film, 2015 maze and the 2016 maze. So yeah, I really like the trailer, and I hope that like, unlike the previous 2 Halloween mazes, like we go to like different environments, like the school and different houses and stuff like that. But I really think it's cool, and you know, the last 2 mazes have had like, even though I wasn't a big fan of 2015's, like they've had like incredible casts, like incredible scares and stuff like that. So I really, really hope that, not like Insidious last year, that this maze has like continues that trend of like incredible scares.
Yeah, pretty much so. But you know, with Halloween being produced by Blumhouse, and we know Murdy loves working with Jason Blum and whatnot, I feel like this is all just way too perfect, and I'm pretty darn sure that this maze is going to happen this year. It's just a matter of when they're going to announce it, pretty much, from my standpoint, really. So, anybody else have anything to say on regards to this? Do you think it's happening or not?
I'm actually watching the trailer right now. I've been so busy with work. I'm watching it right now, and so far, what I'm seeing, it looks good, you know. But I'll give my opinion in just a moment once the trailer ends.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trailer. Like, I like the direction they're taking with the film too. So we're pretty excited to see it, and it's coming out, I think, October 19th. So
I am excited.
And it's just,
I will say that I think it gives that original feel, and I love that I'm pretty sure the original actor is playing Michael Myers in this film, correct?
He's doing parts. Like he's doing some parts.
Sure,
Yeah.
I still think it's awesome. The original score soundtrack is there. Like I think that's awesome. John Carpenter is part of the film. Like dude, that's awesome. You know, I think there's a lot of like pluses, and I think the trailer really is bringing Michael Myers back, because I'm gonna state my opinion. as I do. Rob Zombie's Halloweens were garbage, horrible, and I think everyone can have their own opinions.
Yeah,
I hear people love it, people hate it. I think they were horrible.
me and
No
Osway
offense to Rob
basically.
Zombie. No offense to Rob Zombie. He took a unique approach. Hobo Michael Myers. Come on, man. Really?
You know, the guy
All
has
I'm about to say
a very
this-
distinct style. It just doesn't mix with Halloween.
Yeah, it was a unique style, and I will definitely give that to him.
Oh my God, Bill.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say is that I'm excited for the film, and the trailer was really awesome, and I will definitely be seeing the film when it comes out.
All right, just give me 20 seconds. It's almost over.
I'm counting down, James. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got a blast.
All right. Yeah, just from the trailer, I'm really excited about this movie coming out. It looks really good.
Hey, the closet scene when she's trying to shut the closet.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he pops right up. I was like, damn, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. But yeah. To give my opinion, if we are gonna get a Halloween maze, which I most likely think it is gonna be coming back, because of course, you know, as we all have said, you know, Halloween Horror Nights is becoming like, you know, it likes to remote their stuff, and so I totally agree that I would love to see a lot of different scenes, but if they were gonna do a Halloween maze, I think it would be totally different. I don't think they would do anything they did for Halloween in the past. I think, like as Justin said, like the facade would either be from the 2015 one or the 2016 maze, but I'm thinking it's more going to be like the original house. What I think. So, but yeah, if it is coming, I would definitely love to see it. But here's the thing: the movie doesn't come out until after Halloween Horror Nights starts, so we don't know if the movie's going to be good, or we just don't know. But yes, I would love to see it as a maze this year, if it is coming.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, to me, it makes perfect sense. You know, again, self-promotion. He's working with Jason Blum again. It pretty much just like all lines up with each other. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be at the event this year. So, but that's just me. So, anyway, moving on to the next thing. We already said that we're not going to have an announcement anymore this month, and the next one might possibly be till July 4th. So that gives a few different possibilities, you know, because July 4th we have the first Purge releasing, so we're gonna see Purge again, whether in a scare zone or a maze or in any capacity really. That could be announced there, or he could just wait till the end of July with Midsummer Scream and talk about something there. So, what do you guys think about that? Pretty much.
I think I honestly think he's just gonna announce AHS next, like, you know, whether it's gonna be Asylum or Cult or Coven or a mix of all three or a mix of two or whatever. You know, I just think he's gonna announce that just to get it out of the way.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I just saw this photo. Sorry, I gotta say. There's this photo. It's like gas is like $40 for a full tank. Carrots are like $1 a pound. Your boy is getting a horse.
That's funny.
Dude, you're dead. Alright, like it. Share it. Send it. Done. Sorry. I just had to share it. It was funny. It made me laugh.
Yeah, I think that I agree with Justin. I think he's just gonna wait until, you know, Midsummer Scream to announce American Horror Story. I think that's coming back, and I think it's gonna be the final year for American Horror Story. Unless they keep doing seasons and it's good, then they'll continue doing the maze. But honestly, after 2 years of having it, I am like just done with American Horror Story.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with, I think, American Horror Story is, I know FX is a part of Fox, So if like the Disney merger deal goes through, that would technically be property at Disney. So that pretty much just cancels out that we're gonna be able to see American Horror Story again in the future. So if it is coming this year, I'm pretty sure again, like you said, James, this is probably gonna be the last year we see it.
Exactly.
But that just all waits to be seen. So we're just gonna have to wait for him to announce more stuff. And again, like he said, he promised more announcements in July. So hopefully it's not far now that we find out what else is gonna be coming to the event this year, which sounds like a pretty promising year so far.
All right. Well, I want to ask you guys a question really quick. Like last year we had the scare zone in the tunnel. The Taunted Tunnel. Do you think we're gonna have a scare zone again in there, or do you think not? Because we're gonna have a big one at the Metro sets.
I'm not too sure, really, to be honest. But yeah, pretty much. What do you think, James?
I mean, I loved Taunted Tunnel last year, but I don't know. I mean, it worked, but it didn't work. So, we'll just have to see what happens first.
I just personally like the approach they've been taking with the scare zones in the tunnel. I just absolutely hate them, since pretty much like they started putting scare actors in there. It's all the same crap. It's strobe lights and dubstep, which is just like the laziest thing ever to me. And it's just annoying to walk through it, to be completely honest. Like sometimes when it's like 1 in the morning and you've been walking around all day and you're just going through it and you have like strobe lights in your face and all this loud music, it's just pretty annoying, to be completely honest.
Yeah. I would love like for the tunnel to finally like dump all that and actually like do like normal stuff, like a normal tunnel and stuff like that. But that's probably not going to happen. If you ask me, I think they'll just throw the first purge in there and just be done with it. Like figures, music, strobe lights, purge. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Last year with Toxic Tunnel, I thought they were going to take a different approach, and they could have taken a different approach, just make it a lot darker and add some fog. It was supposed to be a radiation leak anyway, and just like strobe lights and upsteps, just like none of it makes sense pretty much.
Well, I want to tell you, when they first announced the concept, it was good, but then when I actually saw it executed, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. All right, so now we're pretty much going to go into, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat and we'll answer them right now. If we don't have much questions, we're just going to go ahead and end it now, as we don't have much else to talk about, unless somebody else wants to bring up something that you think is relevant to Horror Nights at this very moment.
Oh, well, I don't know. How many people are watching on the live stream?
7. Someone just said review the Nun trailer.
Oh, the Nun trailer is out already?
Yeah, it just came out today.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I've seen it. So I think it looks really good. I would love to see it at HHN. The whole like old medieval vibe to it is really cool, and the Nun is such an iconic character, and I'd love to see, just her film represented at the event. I mean, it would be really great.
I don't love anything in the Conjuring universe, but at this point, I'm not so sure if any of it will ever happen. But I would love to see.
I would honestly 86 the whole Conjuring universe from Horror Nights.
Yeah, there's a lot of like lawsuits and stuff going around from.
Yeah, like if so, you won't see it for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, it'd be cool, but it's unlikely, really.
Yeah. But
yeah, I honestly think if we're gonna see The Conjuring, probably be down the road, but not right now because of all the lawsuits.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I totally understand. But
and aren't they also making like a Conjuring 3? So wouldn't they want to wait until they make the Conjuring 3 and then do the Conjuring?
I mean, it would make more sense, but again, I mean,
I didn't hear they were doing.
The Conjuring is a property that's on thin ice for Horror Nights, and with all the lawsuits and all that stuff going on, Horror Nights and Universal will not be involved in that. So
yeah, and let's be completely honest.
You will not see that at the event for a very long time, if not ever. and I'm being 100% honest, and I know it's sad, but you have to look at it on a truthful aspect, an honest way. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I'm looking at the chat right now, and someone said, "Did you guys hear about the Shining sequel? They're making that Shining."
Yeah, they actually are. It's based on the Doctor Sleep novel, and I just heard today that Ewan McGregor got cast as Danny Torrance, so that's pretty cool.
Well, it's based off his novel.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep.
The
sequel.
Yeah, and that's really cool that they're doing a movie off of it. I didn't know that they did that, but that's really cool. So, we could probably see that coming to the event in some shape or form, maybe, possibly.
Hopefully.
I'm hoping that we see it next year because I know the second film comes out. I hope it comes. But.
I'm also looking at the chat too. Someone said, "Yeah, John Marie did confirm." Sorry. Did confirm that we are getting a maze in the getting the scare zone in the tunnel again.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope there's no strobe lights then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But so far, it's shaping up to be a pretty good year in my opinion. It's good to remain optimistic after pretty much last year, which I was pretty vocal about not liking, but hopefully this year doesn't disappoint, and we'll see.
Someone's asking, do you think the Nun is going to come to HHN this year?
This year? No.
No.
Yeah, no, me either.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like we were saying, it probably, if it does, it probably won't be for a really long time, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I would pretty much just abandon hope for any of the Conjuring properties, and for a while, really.
Wait, the Nun is part of the Conjuring story?
Yeah, it's a spin-off from the Conjuring 2.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. Okay.
It's in the Conjuring universe. It's very similar to kind of like the Annabelle idea. So
yeah,
okay.
It's in the same vein as Annabelle.
It's in the universe. It's just a side story, and it's going to tie in on that character on the Nun.
Okay.
Which is cool. The character is great. I think it's awesome, but...
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. This is funny. Right, someone's saying, do you think The Undertaker will return? If you guys don't know, in the 1990s, they had an Undertaker maze.
Like Undertaker icon? Or like...
No, they actually had an Undertaker maze. Like, it was based off, like, the wrestler, The Undertaker?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, but just the idea itself.
I would love to see that. That would be like funny. But like,
icon. Like that's what I was thinking, the icon. But
well, listen. At this point, this is the end at the event, so I really wouldn't give up hope for anything.
They would have to have a character as John Cena, and every time when I would go through there, I would be like, I cannot see you. I cannot see you. Where are you, John Cena? And then I would be
and it would be like a good excuse.
I would be that annoying guest that everyone hates. Well, the performer would hate because everyone else would be doing the exact same thing, or they'd be like, John Cena, da 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 da. Like, but
it'd also be a good excuse to use the black walls just to I can't type thing.
Oh, bro, if we had a wrestling house, that freaking actually kind of lit.
Yes.
About it, dude, I was so pumped.
Bro,
I would just wear my boxing gloves in there and just get.
Oh my god! I'm sorry.
Fun. But yeah, it'd be unique. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I would be damn sure. Getting like a Teletubbies maze would be creepy, bro.
Oh, that would be scary. Honestly, that would be really scary.
Yeah, dude, a Teletubbies maze would be freaking super scary.
Just make it dark and creepy, pretty much.
Is there any other questions or no?
Someone said, bring back the Undertaker maze. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm so confused though. Are they talking legit the wrestler or the Undertaker icon?
No, the wrestler.
They had a maze on the wrestler?
Look up, Tristan. Look up Undertaker maze HHN, like in the 1990s. It was an actual thing.
I never knew this.
Yeah.
This was an actual thing. Did you know they had 1,000 corpses in the 90s before Murdy did it again in 2010?
HHN 2000.
Yeah, actually. Wait. House of 1,000 Corpses was actually a maze, and then that actually inspired Rob Zombie to actually make the film. I read up on it.
Yeah.
Let me see this baloney.
Yes.
Bro, it is a legit thing. It's called The Undertaker No Mercy in 2000.
Yeah.
That is so silly. No wonder Horror Nights disappeared for freaking years.
Holy shit!
Oh.
No wonder, dude.
Yeah, it took
Dude,
6
John
years.
Murray came back and was like, bro, I ain't doing no wrestling crap.
But he'll do this is the end though.
Yeah, he'll do
What's
this
that?
as the end.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny, dude. Coming from someone who knows so much about the event, never knew there was an Undertaker maze, so that's pretty incredible. That is funny, bro. I will never. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm just gonna make
Completely
jokes.
honest, I would have loved to see that just to make fun of it.
Bro, look at the promotion photo on Google. It's a little freaking
I know,
maze.
I've seen it.
It's in the middle.
Wait, I gotta look this up.
Oh my god. Dude, his face is like, I will find you, and I will kill you. Oh my god. Funny, bro.
Let me see. I'm gonna look up the promotional image and try to share it with you guys, so all of you guys get to see.
No, I got it. I got it right here.
Open Friday the 13th. Here, Jose, I'll send it in the DM to you.
All right, send it.
I'm gonna slide in your DMs. Hold on.
Yeah, send it to me, Tristan, too. If it's, does it have his like face and then there's like a vampire next to him as well?
There's copyright to it. Just give me a second. No, I'm kidding. Here you go. I screenshotted it and sent it to you, Jose.
All right. Okay, I got it. Yeah, it's the same one I was looking at, pretty much.
That's the same one. All right, James.
All right,
I'm sending you the photo through your DMs on Twitter.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
So for you guys, pretty much like watching, if you guys want to see it, it's right here. You can see The Undertaker No Mercy, and this is where they had the Rob Zombie maze I was talking about. Also, they had House of a Thousand Corpses, which was actually made before the movie came out, which is what inspired him to make the movie, and then he went back and did it in 2010, which is pretty cool. And they also had a Buffy the Vampire maze.
That's so silly to me, dude.
It's funny how much the event has evolved from that point.
Well, yeah,
You
dude,
really think
like, honestly, dude, like whoever was like the PR, like the main promotion, like head was like, yeah, an Undertaker maze. Yeah, that just sounds great. That just sounds great. That's just gonna really rock the socks off these people. Wow.
All right, we have a few more questions in the chat. So, what scene would you guys want to see the most in an It 2017 maze?
I would love to see the scene of when he comes out of the refrigerator and he's all twisted.
Oh, it's all twisted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the flow. Or I would love to see this. I've always had a vision of a scare, a performer jumping out of a box, like straight up, like out of a box.
Like a
Like
Jack in the
fuck-
Box.
Yes, and you know how he jumps out of the box in the clown room? That would be so sick. Like if you're walking by and all of a sudden just Pennywise jumps out of the freaking box and lands in front of you. I mean, obviously you can't do that. It would totally not work. But it would be so cool if you could do that.
Yeah. I would say like the projector scene from the film. Like I love
Oh, dude, the projector films, like it's all like it screws your vision up, and then all of a sudden the performer just jumps through the freaking projector. Yeah, that'd be.
And I
You just
also-
have, like this huge animatronic popping out of
Yeah, but
you.
it would just be like anything
be
else
so
that we
sick.
see, just someone just pushing it, and the head just comes out and probably sprays you with water, and then goes back.
And then another scene. Well, there's like two other scenes I would love to see. I would love to see the Flute Lady. I love that scene so much.
Oh yeah. That was
Oh
cool.
yes.
No, the egg boy. Egg boy.
And then the leper as well. I love the design of the leopard. That'd make a really great costume.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Oh.
Yeah?
Another question: Can you work at HHN if you're 17, turning 18 before the event?
No, you have
I
to be
believe
you
you
have
have
to
to be
be
turned 18
18
before
you have to be
orientation, right?
18 on the audition.
No, well, when I went audition last year, they said you had to be 18 by orientation, which is like your first year of
Well,
employment or something.
Isn't that usually like right after auditions? You have to be 18. Like yeah. So like when you get hired, you have to be 18. So if you audition in July and your birthday is literally like, let's just say for example, auditions are July 7th. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just throwing a date out. And your birthday is on July 13th, you would be able to audition, and if you got casted, you'd be fine. It's not about being 18 before the event, it's about being 18 on the actual signing of the papers. Because when you audition, if you get a gold card, that does not mean you are casted. It does not mean you are part of the event. It just means that they're interested in you, and then they will cast you when the official casting roles come out. So that's how that process works. So
Yes.
when you get the official casting email, for whatever it could be Horror Nights, it could be Daytime's Op, it doesn't matter. When you get the official casting email, you have to be 18 on the day of your paper signing. Because you have to bring an ID, you have to bring like some other stuff, like all that stuff. So you have to be 18 on the day of signing papers. So yes, you can be 17 in audition. So you just have to be 18.
Or you pretty much have it. So, next question we have is how many mazes are coming to HHN this year? Probably say 7 or 8, like last year.
Probably the same as last year.
Well,
Yeah,
probably the same.
we had 7 last year, I think, not counting Walking Dead, so probably the same.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 7 plus the Walking Dead, so 8. Yeah.
Yeah, 7, 8.
How do you think Horror Nights will be when John Murray leaves the event?
To be honest,
Different.
I think it's bittersweet. I think if John Murray leaves, it could be a disaster, or it could be something that can be taken a different approach. I don't think anyone can live up to John Murray's footsteps. That's just my opinion. I think he's established his name, he's established his work, and no one can fulfill that. But I definitely think people have different creative minds and can create different things and bring a different element that we normally wouldn't see from John Murray. If that makes sense.
Right.
Well, say what you will about the man, he did bring this event back and made it as popular as it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
a pretty great job.
He has established himself, and no one can take that from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if he leaves or retires, like, he is set in stone on Horror Nights. When you think of Horror Nights, you think of John Murray and the IPs. That's what you think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think about quality and IPs, and that quality and IP comes from John Murray and Chris Williams and the whole art direction team and costume team and all that crap. So it's not all just John Murray and Chris Williams. There's a huge amount of team members that just don't get the recognition that they need.
Right. No, I mean, my opinion on that is, yeah, I don't think if John Murray does leave, I think whoever takes his place could either live up to it, or it could go either way. It could not be a good event once John Murray leaves, or it could be a better event when John Murray leaves. But it all depends. As Tristan said, a lot of people have a lot of different creative minds, so who knows what's going to happen when John Murray leaves. But as of right now, he's not leaving yet, so that's going to be down the road in the future.
Yep, pretty much. So somebody else asked to make up an original concept for a scare zone. So I don't know, just
wait.
About fans, fans are pretty crazy. What?
What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, somebody asked to make up an original concept for a scare zone.
Make up an original concept for a scare zone. Mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, all right. So I've always loved like a whole like nuke apocalyptic like lifestyle. So like this whole world is just just nuked, and like you have people surviving from like underground like subways and like nuke shelters and things like that. And in the mix you have like people who got exposed to the radiation, so now they're like mutated, and in that would be leaders, because in my opinion, if the world ever did become that, it would have to have some type of like power. Someone who have to have some type of control over an area of land, and if that's with military or militia or some type of thing, I would be really cool to incorporate different types of leaders that have different specific army, like militia, that have unique weapons and unique skill sets. And I think that would be just really cool. That's just my idea. Not so much the mutants, because it's like, okay, mutants have just been done so much that's like unique, but I would really focus on like the militia and like how they have control over certain like areas of the world, and like certain cities are owned by this, like, I hate the word gang, but that would be the best way to describe it. Like, it's owned, this territory is owned by this specific group. I think that'd be awesome. So basically it's like mixing like chaotic as like the purge, but it mixing in like like a post-apocalyptic like zombie world. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
awesome. Sounds like Mad Max mixed with
Yeah,
like
like that's a good way to put
yeah.
it. Mad Max, yeah, or like if you guys ever seen the movie oh my gosh, what, Book of Eli. It's a
Oh
great,
yeah.
that's very very similar to kind of a concept. Like it's just like super unique, you know, and like I think it'd be so cool to have like the leaders in the scare zone being on stilts, and like you have three or four like areas, and they're controlled by these leaders that are on stilts, and then on the stilts they have like their four like main men, and those four main men are gonna have unique weapons and unique armor and unique things to them that are gonna benefit them in like the war of like controlment. And like it would be so cool to like decorate chainsaws, and that'd be so neat. Like having chainsaws with like unique builds and like all this like steampunk, like post-apocalyptic. It'd be just badass. It would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's just my idea. But
James, what do you have to say?
For me, even though it's I would go. Oh my god, I kind of would do like a zombie scare zone. You know, I've always been a fan of zombie movies.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, mine. Two of my favorite horror films ever is like The Thing and Hellraiser. I love both of those films like so much, and I love the whole hell concept. But I kind of want to just see like HGN go back to its like go to like much darker roots and kind of go with more like creature based type hell, like messed up type stuff. So like we see more like really advanced costumes and like I don't know how to describe it, but like the creatures with the thing, like if you took the creatures from the thing and you kind of mixed them up with Hellraiser, like you like that type of stuff, and more like cultish, like hellish type, like
I think the best
demonic.
way to explain it is like characters from the video games Doom.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
way, like more of like the demons from like those types of things, like more of like a demon entity.
I kind of want something more like spiritual, like you can really feel like an essence of fog and like you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely a creepy aspect.
All right, so we have our next question, guys.
Oh wait, Jose has to say his.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You know, for me, I kind of like where Justin's going with like the whole like kind of dark hell thing, but to me, it probably focused more on like I don't know, like the satanic aspects of it, like having like rituals and like witches, just like being really dark and whatnot. But really, like I know that wouldn't work, but like another thing I would really want to see just like quickly is kind of like what Orlando did last year was like their 1950s invasion scare zone. Like that to me was just like I don't know, I just love the whole vibe out of that, and I would love to see something. Like
yeah,
that.
it was cool. It was a really cool scare.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, what's the next question?
All right, so the next question is: do you think a maze made out of mirrors will work?
Well,
No.
Maze based out of black walls work, so.
I mean, look, it goes both ways. All right, so like a mirror maze wouldn't. You can't. If you want the real answer, you can do it because it's been proven. Scary Farm has done a maze
Mirror,
like
mirror.
that. Mirror,
Yes.
mirror. But it turned out to be a flop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have performers in there because the problem is when you add performers, you're having people kind of figure their way out. So when you add performers, it adds an entity of people getting scared. And when people get scared, they start running. People want to run. People want to get out fast. They, start swinging. They start punching. That's just natural. That's just how it works. You cannot do that with a mirror maze, because not only are people trying to figure their way out, they will lose their mind to where they will physically hurt people because they are so scared and so traumatic, because that's just how it works. Those people freak out over those things. They just do. And
Yeah.
not only that, the queue would be outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, a good point that you brought, Tristan, was when they did Mirror Mirror at Not Scary Farm. That did not work.
No,
So-
it's a cool concept. I think the concept is cool, like trapping people in a mirror and trying to figure your way out. And like,
Right.
it is a maze. Like, it straight up is a maze. You're trying to figure your way out. It's a cool concept, but it just does not execute well in a real life setting. Maybe if it's something on the lines of like, it's an additional thing that you pay for, and it's a limited amount of people that go in, and that's it. Maybe that can work, but it cannot work when you have a queue that's 2 hours long, and your goal is to send 4,000 to 5,000 guests in an hour. Like, you're just not gonna do it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a mirror maze, in my opinion, cannot work.
No, it would not work either. So we have our next question. Punk rock based scare zone. Your guys' thoughts?
A punk rock scare zone. So like I get like artists, but like you just like want like a punk rock, just like no music base. It's just like punk rock like characters.
I don't know what he meant. He just said
that would be cool. It would just be, in essence, it would just be an anarchy scare zone, because punk rock is all like anarchy and like crazy and like break all the rules. So you have like people with like cool outfits and like big mohawks and like spiky boots and cool plaid and things like that. That would be cool. It would be actually really cool. I would be down for a punk rock scare zone. Have some like cool metal music, or not metal music, excuse me, cool punk rock music, and like cool like music like that. I think it'd be really cool, and like infusing it with like punk rock artists would be really cool too. But
yeah, I mean, I would love to see that too, because
if you could choose any maze though, this is a question to the chat, people watching, and to the who are on this panel right now. What kind of maze would you do, period? Like, if you had a choice, what would be your number one maze that you would want to see happen? So we'll start off with Justin. Go.
Scream.
A Scream maze? Okay. James, go.
Scream.
Interesting. Jose, go.
God damn it. I want to say Hellraiser. So I'll go with Hellraiser. Yeah.
Bro, mine would be straight up a Slipknot maze. I would die. That would literally be the coolest freaking maze ever. I've always loved, so like, I'm in the minority in this one again. I've always loved the music mazes. I really like Black Sabbath's 13 3D. I get crap for it all the time. People are like, that was such a shitty maze. I loved it. I thought it was so cool. I freaking loved it so much. It was so awesome. I loved Alice Cooper's mazes. Those were super cool. I would love to see like a Slipknot maze, and the characters, Slipknot's just band groups and the masks and their outfits, the jumpsuits, the intense music and the dark music would just be freaking awesome, dude. That would be my dream like maze if I could ever have one. But,
me and Osway have talked about it before, but like
it will never work. It will never happen. Trust me, I know that. But
yeah, me and Osway have talked about it before, but like me and Osway, we love Marilyn Manson. So like to us, like music maze wise, that would be like our dream right there.
Marilyn Manson, yeah, but I would rather have a Slipknot more than Marilyn Manson. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like Slipknot would probably work better than Marilyn Manson, but like Justin saying, I would just love to see Marilyn Manson.
Oh, Marilyn Manson would be super cool, but it's just like, too much like just too much like towards him that it would just turn a lot of people away from like Horror Nights. It would
Yeah,
not
exactly.
be smart.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that.
And I've heard
And
he's not
even with
so easy to
Slipknot
work
too,
with
it would
either.
turn people away.
Okay, so our next question is, what show do you think? What show would you guys want to replace Bill and Ted in Orlando?
No show.
Jabberwockies.
No, I wouldn't want to see a show at all. I don't want anything to replace the footsteps of a legend show, period. I don't want to see an attempt to be very similar. I don't want to see that. I would rather see the show that it's there now, which is what is it? The dance show.
Academy of Villains.
Academy of Villains.
Academy of Villains. I saw that last year. It was phenomenal. Really awesome show. And it was cool because it was like horror themed. It really was. It was not the Jabberwockies. Like, it was straight up horror themed. The characters, it was funny. It was engaged. The music was great. There was fire. There was a lot of cool crap in it. I don't want to see something replace Bill and Ted because Bill and Ted has been a part of the event for 25 years, and it was. And I would hate to see something replace it to replace it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let it live on and let it live on. Don't go, oh, it's 25 years, let's just replace a new show.
Yeah,
Let it be.
I think for me, I got to see it twice, both in 2013 and 2015, and I absolutely loved it.
Oh, Bill and Ted's great. It's a great show.
Yeah, and I would not want to see a show replace it.
I will say, though, last year when I went to Florida, the 25th anniversary of the show and the last show, it was kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it didn't give a great bang. But however, I heard the very last show, the very last one on the closing night, was just off the walls. It was just bonkers, and like it was like almost. I think they said it was like almost an hour or like an hour and a half long. It was just so crazy. Like, they just added so much new stuff and like brought old characters back from the shows, and they brought back like the original casts of the shows. It was like, dude, it was a really big deal. Like, it really was a big deal. And
yeah,
I don't want to see anything replace Bill and Ted. That's my opinion.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to
disagree.
see. I don't want to see Bill and Ted being replaced with anything either. It was good. Just leave it as just don't replace it with anything.
Nah, it just, if you're gonna do a show, just do another Academy of Villains or do another, like, honestly, I would love to see a magic show, but like horror themed magic would be really cool.
Like Penn and Teller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Penn and Teller would be cool.
Or I would love to see a Jack show again, like we saw in 25.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool, but that only worked for that year because it's just an icon base. You can't really have a show like that every single year.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying not an icon, but just maybe a similar show like that, maybe.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. That could work.
I pretty much miss Bill and Ted here in Hollywood, and say what you will, I don't care. Jabberwockies just kind of felt like a slap in the face. Like, yeah, they're talented, but they don't belong at the event. And
nope.
But to me, I'd love to see Rocky Horror make a comeback. I absolutely love Rocky Horror, and I remember
I love
2009 when it was in the Terminator queue. That was, I don't know, I'd love to see Rocky Horror make a comeback, to be honest.
Yeah, I would love to see that too. So we have our next question, guys, is will Alice Cooper ever make a return to Halloween Horror Nights?
Maybe.
Murdy did mention once that there was a third concept for Alice Cooper that he was going to do.
Okay.
But he still hasn't done it. So I think somewhere down the line, we will actually see a Alice Cooper maze, like another one.
I remember like actually speculating like back in like 2013 when like we're gonna have the third Alice Cooper maze that everybody thought it was gonna be based on Brutal Planet, and that's what it was looking like it was gonna be if he ever made a third Alice Cooper maze. And I would just absolutely love to see that, because in Brutal Planet and the sequel Dragon Town, like Alice Cooper just kind of builds up this whole hellish landscape with like all these different characters and whatnot. And I'd just love to see him like actually do that in a maze and not have it be 3D, pretty much.
Yeah, honestly,
I know John Murdy did confirm a while back that there is a third concept for an Alice Cooper maze, and I remember him saying that he wanted to wait for a concept like album to base it off of. So I think he was waiting for Alice Cooper to make a new album, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I think the last one he did was Welcome to My Nightmare, which is when he had the Welcome to My Nightmare maze. And I don't think he's made a new one
I'm
since then.
pretty sure. I remember there's a tweet. I remember I made a video about it, actually. If I can remember specifically, he said that he was waiting for a concept to be built off of it.
Yeah.
I think that's. I remember specific. It's somewhere on that route. I don't know, but
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. Alice Cooper third house will happen, but probably not anytime soon.
Yeah, I would love to see an Alice Cooper one because I love the original two mazes, but I have to agree with you guys that 3D one did not make sense. I love the original one from 2011. I just wish the second one didn't have 3D. It took me out of the moment, honestly.
What? Alice Cooper Goes to Hell 3D?
Yeah.
Bro, you must be tripping, dude.
I actually kind of like that one, to be honest.
Dude, no, it was awesome. Like the whole
Yeah.
carnival facade. Like I loved the old carnival facade.
Maybe when I went through, I didn't have a good experience.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Well, no,
And the thing about it is that, before that we saw 3D for the first time with House of a Thousand Corpses, and this was like completely different 3D. This is like the 3D we've seen now with like the neon paint and everything, and it was new. It looked cool and it all fit pretty
cool.
much.
Do you guys remember the hallway? How it like would like change? Like they did uniqueness to it, and then after every 3D maze, it was like the same hallway. But
yeah, it was pretty much just like the same paint, pretty much. And remember the Gates of Hell scene? That was like so huge, and like with the music and everything.
Cool. Stiltwalker.
Yeah.
And the Stiltwalker came out. Oh, dude, it was so cool.
Man, that maze was awesome.
Yeah. All right.
It was great.
Yeah, but then after going through a couple more times, I actually did enjoy it. But I'm just saying the first experience that I had, I didn't have a good experience. I went back right away, and I had to experience the second time better. So I kind of did enjoy the 3D.
No, I get what you're saying. I get it. I get it.
All right, so we have another question. It's do you guys think we will see a scene in Trick or Treat where Mr. Current will be tortured by Sam?
Typically, whenever they show like clips of like in like the announcement videos, typically like 99% of the time, that clip or like scene is like in the maze. Like that typically, like, because it's like a preview. The announcement video is a preview of what you'd see in the maze.
Right.
And the trick or treat announcement is literally Sam walking slowly to Mr. Krieg and is about to stab him with the chocolate knife or whatever. So yeah, I think so, and yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we have another question. Do you guys think that the IP scare zone is going to be The Purge?
Yes.
Probably, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like Halloween, and like it's obvious that Halloween would be coming this year since they love Blumhouse and stuff like that, and it's promotional. I think it's just the same thing for Purge. We've been seeing it since 2013, and yeah.
Yeah,
I see that in a ton of like I don't know who said it earlier, but just throw your strobe lights and your dubstep and just a few people in Purge mask, and there you go, self promotion, and you have a scare zone pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we have another question.
Okay.
Do you think a La Llorona Terror Tram? What do you think about a La Llorona Terror Tram?
Well,
I thought we had
Go ahead.
I thought we had La Llorona back in 2010 as part of the Terror Tram. I remember there was a scene.
No, it was a scare zone.
Yeah, scare zone.
No, she was in the Terror Tram. Like there was a scene
scare
like
zone.
the burning cabin in the Terror Tram. Like La Llorona was actually there when like Chucky was there, which made like no sense again. But
yeah,
it was I don't know, but like a full blown La Llorona Terror Tram. So, like, that could work, and it'd be pretty creepy, honestly. If you like, I don't know, but
I'd be fine with it. It's just kind of like
Yeah, I would be fine with it too.
I like it more as a maze than I do as a scare zone or a tram or anything else.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I loved. Well, I got to experience all three mazes. I got to experience the one in Orlando in 2013 and the two in Hollywood, and I really did enjoy all three of them. So
Yeah, that's right, because you got to experience the American Werewolf in London as well.
yes, all three versions as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have another question. If Halloween was returning this year, what do you think it would come? What do you think would come?
Like what version
Wait,
of
wait.
Halloween?
No, it said.
I'm confused
How
on
do
the
you
question.
think?
What's the question?
Yeah, it says if Halloween returns this year, how do you think it will come?
Well, I think I'll vouch for everyone here. I think like a maze, like that's like yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a maze too. I just
Yeah, May's probably based on the new one, pretty much.
Okay. So we have
I want those $30 this way. I swear.
All right, so we have what? Tristan?
What are you saying? Oh, the next question.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
James.
All right. Do you believe that HHN will fall behind in the haunt community if this year's faces simply
Similar issues to 2017.
Yeah.
I think so, honestly. A lot of us were disappointed last year, and I've been to Knott's twice. I remember the first year I went was 2015 when I went with Tristan, and I was pretty disappointed with Knott's. Like, people would like hype it up and like they'd say, "Oh, it's an equal to Horror Nights" and all this, but I didn't see it. But last year when I went again, it was superior to Horror Nights, to be honest. So,
oh, dude,
I think,
yeah, freaking crap.
Yeah.
All over.
I think like just like in the fans' eyes, I think like HHN would be like less regarded than Knott's if it fails again this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Tristan?
Oh no,
go. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
I think so too. Knott's and Queen Mary and like all those different haunts are really catching up, and we've been to all those haunts, and I love them, and I just think that eventually if HHN keeps going, like if we got the same issues that 2017 had, I just think crowds would just start finding more interesting like places to go, like Knott's or Queen Mary and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Here's the thing though, like general audiences, like they're really not that into it like we are. Like as long as they get scared and like they feel like they got what worth from their money, like they see Stranger Things or whatnot. Because you have to take into consideration, like most of the people who are like general audience who go to Horror Nights, they end up seeing realistically like 2 or 3 mazes a night. There's like the wait times and like people who show up late and all that. So to like general audiences, I really don't think it'd be that much of a big deal. But like to us, the fans, like definitely, like our perception of Horror Nights would definitely change. But probably not for like general audiences, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Another question is, what are your thoughts on a Blumhouse scare zone?
yeah, thanks, Mom, for that question.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. I feel like that would work much better as a scare zone than a maze. In my opinion, I didn't really like the maze last year, so
Yeah.
I feel like it'd flow better. Especially with the mashup of characters and stuff like that. How many IPs you can use for Blumhouse.
Right.
I'd love to see that in like a gauntlet type of style. That would work pretty neatly, actually.
Well, remember, guys, we had the gauntlet like twice back in. It was the gauntlet, and then it was part of the maze last. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I mean, like just like a Blumhouse gauntlet, like that would like be pretty cool. Like.
Oh, you
like,
mean not just like the Purge, but like different.
Yeah, like everything, like Blumhouse, pretty much. Like you have like Sinister, Insidious, The Purge, a little bit of each, pretty much. I think that would work pretty well.
Yeah. Tristan, you want to say anything about that?
I don't really have an opinion.
Okay.
Alright.
Another, will you all attend HHN opening night again this year? It's
Well,
pretty
I mean,
early to.
hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's really early to tell, and dates haven't really been announced yet.
Yeah.
I mean, Orlando has been like September 14th. That's what they've said. So I don't know if it's the same for ours. Probably will, but it's really.
Here's the thing. Anytime that Orlando announces okay, so here's the thing, and I want to lay this out so people understand. With Florida and Hollywood, it is very similar on the event. Obviously, Halloween Horror Nights, it gives it the name away. But the days are going to be very similar due to the fact that we share IPs. So if we don't share any IPs, like nothing is being copied from our event to their event. So meaning any marketing material will be different from our event to theirs. That's when you can say the days are going to be changed. If I can guarantee that the days between Hollywood and Orlando are going to be the same just because they are sharing the same IPs. We are sharing the same marketing. If you look at their website, it's the same marketing, same theming. It's just going to be there. The only reason why Orlando releases their days before and their tickets before is it's a much more wider branch of like people. Like their audience is like double the size of ours. Like it's insane. Like
Yeah.
like our park is so small compared to Florida's. So like what we can fit, they could probably fit double. You know? So that's why they always announce it. More people travel. Like if you actually look at the statistics, like when you or sit around in the queue or you look around people and you listen to people's conversations, most people are locals that go to Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. You don't get too many people traveling. Florida, you get people traveling all over the place. And that's a proven fact. Their demographic is mostly traveling. I'm one of them. I travel there to go see it. You know? So that's why their days always get announced beforehand, and I can stamp that 100% with like that we're gonna be on the same day. So
Yeah, honestly, unless I doubt it, I'm probably gonna be there opening night. To be honest.
Yeah. But it
I
is a
kinda
little
ranted on
too
that.
early.
But yeah, opening night, I was probably gonna be
Yeah.
I think for me too, it's too early to tell, but most likely I'll be attending opening night as well.
I most likely will as well, but like it's a little too early to tell because we have jobs and school and work and stuff like that. So it's a little too early to tell, but I think there's a good chance that we're all going to be there opening night. So
All right. So we have another question: is what do you guys think about Orlando's 10th house? What original houses do you think will be coming there?
Or do you want to come there? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, want to come there.
No, it's okay. Um,
um
I mean, having 10 mazes is a good thing and a bad thing. Um, the only reason why I say it's a good thing is because it sucks the crowds up. So there's so much to experience. So when you go through the mazes, they're not as long because there's so much going on. But at the same time, if you get onto a crowded night where every single maze is booked, it sucks because you don't get a break and you're not going to see everything in one night because there's 10 freaking mazes. So if you do the average, if each maze is an hour wait, you would not be able to see every single maze in one night if
You
you
would
waited an hour.
you would have to get like at least the
You have to come. You'd have to either get a pass to come back multiple nights, or you'd have to do express.
right.
For Hollywood, you can go through everything very quickly. Honestly, you can.
Right.
But even then, sometimes Hollywood, you can't even see everything, even with 6 mazes. You know?
Exactly.
yeah, I agree.
But anyways, 10 mazes. What original maze would I like to come there? I would like to see another kind of 25 years maze, but like with all their original fan favorite mazes and just collage them into one giant maze. I think that would be cool.
Yep.
Just because I call myself a noob when it comes to Orlando because I only started going to their events since 2015, so it's only been 3 years. This would be my third year attending. And yeah, like I don't know. I just find it just kind of silly, like for me to talk about like how I know everything when I don't, because I've only been going there for so long. So, um, I would just love to see the original mazes that I didn't get to experience, that all the fans over there got to experience, and a mashup house. So I can say that I got to experience a little portion of that maze and a little portion of that maze. That's my opinion.
Well, if you remember, Tristan, we actually had that in.
That's what I'm saying. For 25, like a mashup of like 25, because they took like their most popular mazes, original concepts, and mashed them into one maze.
Well, so you're saying you would like to see another one of that?
Absolutely,
but just different from other mazes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, it's like what I said. I didn't get to experience all those things, so I would love to say that I got to experience a portion of an original maze from the 1990s. That they're bringing back, and when they do bring it back, the 25 years they replicated the sets from that maze and the characters from that maze, so it felt iconic to the fans that got to experience the original maze and got to experience it again in like the mashup house. I honestly would love that, and that's just my opinion. So that would be my original concept, and that's that.
Yeah, I honestly gotta say I agree with Tristan, because Tristan and I got to go in 2015, and we got to see the 25 house. But yeah, I have to agree, if I ever went back to Orlando, and they do 10 houses next year, I would like to see the original house.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It would be cool to like see a mashup of mazes, but that probably won't happen until year 30. So give it. What year is this?
28.
2 more years.
28.
2 more years.
Yeah, 28. I feel like next year is going to be a really big year, and it's going to surprise people in Florida because it's going to hype everyone up for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm thinking they're going to do is they're going to give I want to give a shout out to two guys, Matt and Quint from the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights. It's a podcast where they talk about the history, and for the 20th anniversary they had like a scares on the last weekend, which was basically a teaser of what they were going to do for the 20th anniversary. So I think that's maybe what they're going to do for the 29th, is they're going to have a scares on the last week of the event, teasing what's going to be coming for the 30-year anniversary.
Yeah. I'm on the same page. So,
what do you think, Josue?
Or original maze for Orlando? Man, I want to see the Undertaker.
Yeah, me too.
Orlando 2018.
I don't know if you could count This Is the End as an original concept, but I would love to see that.
No, but in all seriousness though, I love like the concept they did in like 2025 and like previously the Run House. I just love that whole concept. It's just like so dark, and it kind of reminds me of my phrase. I would love to see that again, even though I know they just saw it recently, so they probably wouldn't want to see it again. But just for me, I'd love to see that.
The Run maze was cool, man. It was cool.
Yeah.
Run blood,
sweat, and tears.
Tears, yeah.
Something like that. I've seen tons of walkthroughs of this house, and I've heard so many good things about it. But I would love to see Nightingales. I've heard so many great things.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many like original mazes that I would love to experience, but like you can't really bring them back. The only way to bring them back is either do a sequel, or that's that. But
yeah,
what do you think of a Killer Clowns from Outer Space scare zone? I don't have a comment.
No.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space scare zone. It could work.
Yeah,
it could work, but it'd be cool to see. But it depends on how the execution. Pretty much, that's the main thing.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at this one comment, guys. Undertaker for the Terror Tram. As we said, it's probably never gonna happen.
That's what we need to bring the Terror Tram back to life. We need to put the Undertaker in there.
Exactly.
Jose, I don't know. You still want to answer some more questions? I mean, I kind of wanted to throw out something to
we're just gonna go ahead and close it off here. I think we've been going for a little bit over 2 hours, so we're gonna go ahead and cap off the podcast tonight. I want to thank all my guests for being on it here today. We're gonna start off with Justin at HHNManics.
Hi.
Words.
Nope. You can follow me at Twitter at HHNManics, on Instagram, and yeah, have a great night, everyone.
And James, HHNUpdated1, where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook at HHN Podcast. Find me on Twitter at HHNUpdated1. Follow me on Instagram at HHNUpdated1 _ podcast, and on Snapchat, HHNUpdated1 pod.
All right, and Tristan?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to throw this out there just for everyone. This might be actually a huge shocker to people. So as you guys know, make this really quick, Jose. I don't want to take this on, but I just kind of wanted to throw out. A lot of you guys probably knew that I stepped down from doing updates and stopped making videos and just kind of fell off the planet of the Earth. And if you don't know who I was what people say I was a legend, and as Jose mentioned, the man, the legend. And it's just silly to me, but I guess a lot of people really enjoyed my content, and I kind of just stopped making it and just fell off the planet of the Earth, and no one knew why. And I wanted to announce that I will be making a return to Halloween Horror Nights updates and video making and video creating. There's going to be some new, different things that I didn't incorporate in my previous channel. And you guys can follow my my Twitter and my Instagram. It's Tristan, TRISTAN _ HFIM, and that stands for Have Faith in Me. And basically, you can follow that. I'll have more updates to that, but I'm coming back with some new content and some new ideas. And I hope you guys can join the journey. And I'm just excited to just kind of come back in this community and also other communities as well. And you'll see me on the flip flop. But yeah, just wanted to announce that. And I just want to say thank you, Jose, for allowing me to be part of this podcast. And thanks, James, and thank you, Justin, for being a part of this. It's really fun. I haven't done a podcast in how long, guys? Over a year.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so it's really awesome, and I just want to say thank you all for supporting all these guys and continuously making Horror Nights what is fun. So, yeah. So that's all I had to say, man. So thank you, Jose.
So there you go, guys. That's some pretty exciting news. So I'll add links to all these guys' social medias in the description box, so be on the lookout for that. And I want to thank you guys once again so much for watching and being pretty cool and interacting with us and asking us questions and whatnot. You guys are the reason I keep doing this pretty much, so thank you guys so much. And I'll be doing some more HHN updates for you guys, and hopefully some construction updates pretty soon. I'm going to be going to the park next week, hopefully, if all is well. So, but thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast.